You kept interrupting me. Like,
You're
dang,
so
I
rude.
must have pissed her off.
Hate it when that happens. All too often.
The problem
Alrighty,
is we were discussing the same things.
It's even worse
Go
when you're
ahead
having
and
a
add
discussion with
your
yourself.
bonus experience for being here and on time. 250 for PCs, 125 for henchmen. And have you been tracking the days for Shigo to reach first level?
Not necessarily, because I didn't know how much training she was actually getting, or how long it was actually going to take. It started since we were in Porto Hervan.
Right. Okay. About another month.
There was never any thought to have her be a
Yeah,
combatant
because
anyways.
well,
So
it was. Yeah, it was half of the XP for to reach second level as a rogue, but she only gains the amount of experience based on the low.
yeah, I'm holding her back.
Puts it at
Yeah, I'm holding her back.
64 days total.
User in your channel timed out.
Oh man.
Yeah. Musical characters.
Seems like Arendel's
musical
having
players.
even his Wi-Fi connected from.
All right,
User
so
joined your channel.
Yay.
last session you guys had explored a dungeon you found under the ruins of Andil. Defeated quite a couple of different types of devils, and beat a hasty retreat after defeating the second of Blink Blink.
Abishai, maybe?
Abishai, Black Abishai.
Yeah, second Black Abashi. Decided that you wanted to have a nice clear area in case there was any sort of a retaliation with an aerial attack, thinking that it would be safer being in a wide open area. You beat feet pretty fast. Made it about 12 miles away back the way you came. On the old road west of Andel. You had the first uneventful evening, peaceful and uneventful evening in a couple of weeks, or at least a few days, as you've been harried through the night by wolves since leaving Ganbar's halt. For the sake of brevity, did everybody prep whatever new spells they had available, stuff like that?
Yep.
Okay. Cool. So the next morning, around the cook fire, what are you guys doing?
Very silent.
So you heading back there today?
We had so much fun last time. That we couldn't.
Well, I'd like to finish what I start generally.
I'd like to finish it too. I promise you that. But some of us are injured, and it wouldn't hurt for us to fill up to full. And I sure would like to go in with a full spell complement in case we get our butts handed to us again.
What about your
Yeah.
little thing?
Well, how many days to the full moon, Elena? I should know
It
this in my
is-
heart.
Oh, well, let me kick you the calendar here real quick. It is now the 11th. You have 3 more days till the full moon.
You need to find some livestock.
Kind of hunting to bring in some things. We got to plan ahead to get the animals far away. Except for Larry, of course.
Yeah, I had missed an increment on the day, so I'm going
Might
to
be
kick
better
the
to-
calendar macro twice here real quick. So
Far away or really bound?
It's up to you guys. I was just saying, I used up all my spells last time and we barely made it out.
I was also tapped, but
Yeah.
I think I can do better this time.
I'm also starting to run low on arrows.
So what if we went back? Those guys had any more arrows? Maybe.
I mean, I can make some, but I'm going to need a bit of time to... Although the only problem is I don't have the arrowheads and feathers that I need.
What type of arrows do you use?
Mostly broadheads at the moment. Haven't touched my bodkins yet.
I have quite a few broadhead and bodkin arrows. So if you really start to run low, I can share. I have a full complement of 2 quivers of bodkin arrows.
I'm not concerned about the bodkin, it's the broadheads.
I have 43 broadheads right now, plus 23 silvered broadheads.
Yeah. Because I'm down to 19 from 36 for the normal broadheads, and 18 from 25 for the silvered ones.
Well, how many would make you feel comfortable going back in? I can give you some.
he goes through them bloody fast.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He really does.
That's
I'd rather
the-
he have them than I, is what I'm saying.
That's the problem. I go through them so quickly. I'd probably be comfortable with 30. I reckon 30 would be enough.
And how many do you have now?
19.
Well, Edward's got a complement of arrows. I mean, if you need to where you get down into your reserve or you run out, then you definitely take Edward's. It's not
Are
like
they
he uses them
broadhead or
much.
broadhead?
Has Edward ever fired a bow?
Not yet, but he has it in case he needs to.
Edward's my pack mule
There you
for
go.
arrows.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got 24 bodkins and 24 silver bodkins set up. So
Oh yeah, take those, dude. We should both
So,
be raiding his.
you run out, and then we'll get them to you when you need them. Or
Yep.
if you get down to the last set.
Hope it's not in the middle of combat.
Well, I mean, if we get down to that point, I mean,
We're probably screwed anyway.
yeah.
Well, who needs to be healed? Can we go back to where we can see? My token looks full, and I know I'm not.
Well, that's just because the background is about the same color as your health bar there,
Okay.
where you were looking at it.
I move it over here. I can see it.
Well, actually, you're still on the main screen.
It was
Yeah.
overlapped with
Could
Larry's
be.
health bar.
Yeah,
what
you're
it
about
was.
half. Edward is a little bit better off than you, not much.
Vic needs some.
About
Crick's got a
2/3.
couple, a little scratched up.
Who is?
Quick's down like
Vic's a
About
little
a third.
scratched up.
We'll start with Edward because he was kind of the front line. He was the tank last time, so let's get him all healed up first.
Okay.
So, oops, I have to have my token selected when I try to cast the
Yeah,
spell.
now I just moved it so you can't see his token, so I'll drop him on there for you. There you go. I'm trying to move him so you can see how his health bar is.
Yeah, I see his bar.
There you
Okay,
go.
go ahead and add those 6 in.
Three-quarters.
Okay.
I'll cast it again. On Edward. Please do better than I did last. No, screw it. Okay. That's 2 I've cast. I have 5. I saved all my first level spells are healing this time.
Then Antixos casts a lightning bolt through us.
Nice. Okay, so I have 3 more left. I'm going to go to Kavik next.
Rip. Zilfa's doing all this healing, and then kabang!
Yeah, Zilpha, you got to keep in mind when you're healing Edward. He's got a lot. He's got one of the larger pools of hit points. So.
Yeah, but he was also our tank last time, so I would like him to stay.
Oh yeah, no, I understand. I understand that. I'm just saying when you're healing him,
That would be
his
plenty
bar
for
isn't going to move
Vic.
that much with the cure light wounds. He has so many hit points.
Yeah, how you doing, Kavik? I can't really see.
Kavik's fine. Kavik's fine. He doesn't need
Hey,
to.
Rendell, how you doing?
I hooked him up.
I'm fine. I mean, I rarely get hit in combat. I don't remember the other time, but I do remember getting stabbed in the back by Zed. Don't remember the other time, though. But other than that, I'm fine.
So that cast 3? Yeah, I'll cast one on myself.
Just be lucky it was Zed and not Kavik.
Yeah, I'll cast one on myself. Watch me roll a 1. Oh, that's a 6. I'll take that. And that's enough for
Lots
now.
of 6s.
3 6s and a 1. You know what? I'm not going to complain.
No, you're beating the average. So.
And I still have 1 spell left plus my lay on hands. And aid. I have an aid. So that can help too.
Say that for the end of the day. if we're
Temporary
gonna
hit points, but
rest.
it can be helpful.
It can be helpful to avoid death, yeah.
Well, if we're going to sit here and relax the rest the whole day so we can be fresh tomorrow.
I
Is
would
that
be
the
fine
plan?
with that because I could cast all my healing right now. And then,
No,
wanna-
I would say no. Save those last couple ones till later in case we need them in an emergency if something happens during the day. And then just prior to resting,
yeah, but you know what I mean. Is
then use them up.
right
Oh.
plan. And this way we can discuss our strategy for what to do for the full moon, assuming we don't come across something that changes our plan. We need to have a strategy for how to deal with that. It's 3 days away.
So, why don't we go? I mean, that cave, that was a bunch of dwarves, right?
That was days away.
That was days away, yeah.
And there would be
Yeah.
even more days coming back. I mean, days getting back. So
Yeah.
then we're talking almost the whole week.
You couldn't even make it back to the halt before the full moon, which is probably a good thing at this point.
Yeah,
Um,
very good.
but yeah, it was 4.5 days from Gambar's halt to Andil. So
So we're probably looking at 4 days just to get back.
right. Okay, so you guys are going to spend the day just kind of resting, recuperating, discuss some stuff.
Yeah.
Does Zarendel want
Is
to go
anybody
hunting, or you just want
is
to spend
anybody
a full
doing
day
anything
resting?
specific while you're camped out for the day?
Thinking maybe a bit of hunting.
Can we set up
Okay.
snares or something for to make it non-lethal? Can we
I'll
hunt non-lethally?
probably study that book.
Arendelle?
Would my hunting proficiency allow me to set up snares?
Yeah, do non-lethal hunting, trapping,
Yep.
And Zilpha
still
has
hunting,
rope use as
just
a
different techniques.
Yep.
Yeah, and Kvik
Um,
has rope use too, so.
yeah.
yeah, rope use is helpful for that. Set snares is a lot more helpful for that, but
I got bear
I don't think
traps.
anybody has set snares. Uh, there you go. Zed's got bear traps.
There you go.
I said
It's
non-lethal.
not exactly bear country, but okay.
I mean, if we get to him fast enough, I'm sure it'll be non-lethal.
Well, yeah, except for probably snapping the leg off of anything smaller than a bear.
Uh,
I'm strangely okay with that. I know why I bought him.
Okay, so um, wait. Tell me how you guys are doing this. What exactly are you doing? And who's going to participate and all that?
Well, Edward will, because if Edward just does a full rest all day long, he'll gain some resting hit points back, right?
yeah, especially if I'm tending him.
Yes, and if
Dead.
Zilpha has you have the healing proficiency, correct?
Right.
Okay. With the healing proficiency, that will actually double the amount of hit points gained from resting.
I
For
could
the day?
probably help with that also.
Yeah, he has herbalism.
Adding the herbalism only helps for poisoned and diseased conditions, not for just wounds. So, having the herbalism actually lets you use healing proficiency on poisoned and diseased characters. So, Vic, Arundel, we're gonna go try to set out some traps. Is that what you're going at? Zed, were you gonna do something with that too, or what?
Nope, I'm going back for the psychedelics.
Nice.
Okay. Um, give me uh, dur- 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 dur. Give me a straight herbalism roll. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Said you're poking around through it's kind of drier plains and prairie, and you stumble across some little succulents with these um, little fans of soft needles almost. And it's got some ridges, but you're finding it and you're looking at it's the wrong color from what you're expecting for the type of plants you're looking for. Um, and you're poking at it, and it looks like it's a strange hybrid of a hallucinogenic succulent that were encountered before in the Dan Plains, and but it would the skin of it being the wrong color. You think it might be in the same family, but you're really not sure if what the result would be. This isn't a variety of this type of plant you're familiar with.
I will gather some up and milk them out.
Okay. You're gonna gather some up anyways?
I mean, how would I know if I don't try?
Okay. Um you find a total of 6 of these little succulent bulbs or buds. They're so if you're gonna collect them, you got 6 Sundering bulbs or buds. Sorry.
Spell that for me, please.
All right, I typed it out for you. Okay. Rick, Arundel, how are you going about this little hunting exercise?
I'll just follow Arundel's lead. So
Well, obviously looking for any places that would be that would look like they're well worn. But as we're going about this, Arundel is looking very distracted still, I suppose you could say.
Looking very
He's having
what?
distracted.
Okay.
Spell
Events
that
that
out for
happened
me.
yesterday.
Right. What type of prey are you looking for? Are you looking for a small game, large game, dangerous game? What are you thinking?
deer, wild boar, something sizable, worthy of a hunt of something sizable, like what we're expecting Zilpha to turn into. But I don't think getting something too dangerous would be a good idea. We're just compounding the problem.
Sense of adventure.
Although that'll make it fun for Zilpha later. You know?
Yeah, as they compete for tearing our livestock apart.
Well, the animals are going to have to go. That's all there is to it. They're going to have to get out of range.
Why don't we do it the other way?
Get
Why don't
me
we
out
tie
of
you
range.
Okay.
to your horse and get you out of range?
So you're looking for large herbivores, basically, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Each of you give me a d6, please. Just a straight d6 roll. I'm for Kivik and Arundel. Okay. As you're starting to scout, moving stealthily through the prairie, a bit to the north, you're drifting a little bit west from where the campsite was. You come across some tracks of what looks like goat or sheep, possibly, but they're very large tracks. And way off in the distance, you come across a rise, over a small rise, and as you're scanning the terrain ahead, you can catch a little bit of, you can see the line of the road to the west of you, where you came down from Gambar's Halt. And you see a wagon, a single wagon, slowly making its way down the road.
Towards the camp or away from the camp?
It's heading south on the road.
Along this way.
Yeah, it looks like it's probably the wagon's probably a mile or two away from where you turned off toward Andil, and it's just moving really slow down along the road, along the old road.
Can we see who's on the wagon?
No,
I mean,
you can just tell it's. I mean, it's a long ways away. Um, it just looks like a single small wagon.
pulled
You can't
by a
even tell if it's
single
being
horse,
pulled by one
multiple.
or two horses at this
Can't
distance.
even pull. Oh wow. Do we take a closer look?
Okay.
Again, is this still? That was actually a question to Zarendale. Um, again, is it still kind of generally headed towards the party or away from the party? I mean, not that it's necessarily heading directly towards the party, but
I mean,
generally.
you're not sure. I mean, if he goes straight, he'll bypass right where you. If he turns down the road towards Andil, he'll run right into where you guys are camped.
So he is,
no way to tell where
in a
his
sense,
intention is
heading
yet.
towards the party one way or another at this point in time. Whether he turns or not is
Roughly,
unknown.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, you're better at the whole getting a closer look thing than I am.
Yeah, but that far away, we don't want to split up for me to go take a look.
I mean, I can shadow behind you as much as I can.
Right. But yeah, let's get a closer look, see what's going on here.
Okay.
So we'll stealthily make our way, choosing a path that gets us out in front of it, so we can.
Right. Okay.
Don't say that, Zed.
You go through the tall grasses, keeping low, moving up closer so you can get a good look. You're about 500 yards away from the road. Looks like he's just meandering. He's actually, as you're getting a bit closer, you can see that he's not actually driving straight down the road. He's kind of weaving the wagon back and forth across the width of the road. And as you come up closer, you see that this is a very strange wagon. It's got a high box, and it looks like it's probably got a bed or something, or a little tent built onto the top of a long, flat wagon bed. But the wagon bed is really high off the ground. Hanging underneath it, between the axles, there's a very heavy beam with a collection of strange curving plates that kind of hang out off the sides from underneath, so that the entire contraption hanging underneath the wagon with these strangely curved plates kind of rippling spreads out about 15 feet off each side of this queer wagon. And you see there's a single late middle age human man, just wearing rough homespun tunic and breeches, and he's got there's some sandals hanging off the on a hook on the side of the driver's seat, where it looks like where the reins will be hung when the wagon is parked. And he's just weaving back and forth down the road.
Horse-drawn, one or two?
Humming to himself. What's that?
Horse-drawn, I assume, one or two?
Yep. There's two very, very dilapidated looking draft horses pulling the wagon.
I'll whisper over to Arendelle. You ever see anything like that?
What's that?
I'll whisper over to Arendelle. Have you ever seen anything like that before?
Oh, have I seen anything like that before, Elena?
Okay.
Elena, have I seen anything like that?
No.
I'll,
No, you
I'll
haven't.
sort I'll sort of whisper back. No, that before.
Whatever's hanging, it's metal. You
Yeah,
said.
it looks like it looks like a frame of uh, iron rods with, as you come closer, it looks like the curved pieces um, looks like they're laid in. They're possibly made out of bronze, maybe really old copper.
Is it separate pieces
Um,
that are clanging around, or is it a stiff framework of something?
it's a solid framework, and these curved plates look like they're screwed or riveted into this iron frame.
Almost like armor for the wagon?
No, not really. They're
You said there's disc shapes. Are
these
the disc
two.
shapes horizontal or vertical?
No, they're not discs. They're just curved, like
Oh, okay.
pumps. Each one of these panels curves up between whatever the frame supporting them, and the whole little the structure. I mean, it's about 10 feet long and sticks out 15 feet off each side of the wagon, and it actually hangs out only about 10 inches off the ground on each side. Well, where the ground is level. It looks like there's some cables that allow these panels to bounce up a little bit if they bump into something, um, so that they're not rigidly held out. Um,
And he's steering it back and forth with purpose?
yep, he appears to be intentionally weaving it back and forth across the road.
Can we tell why he's waving it? I mean, is there something in the road? Is he steering for something or avoiding something?
No, doesn't appear to be avoiding anything, or more like he's trying not to avoid anything, or not to miss anything.
Okay, well, yeah, is he intentionally steering towards something? I mean, like, is he like cutting down
As you're
weeds or
watching,
something?
as you're watching the pattern, it looks like the way he's weaving back and forth, the fan things hanging out from the bottom of the wagon will sweep over every inch of the roadbed.
Okay, is it like cutting down the taller vegetation?
No, nope. There's no sharp edges or anything on it. There's these 3/4 inch thick round iron bars supporting these bronze or copper curved plates.
Is this making contact with the ground, or you said it was grading over the top like 10 inches, right?
It's hanging. Yeah, they hang about 10 inches above the ground on each side where it's flat, and occasionally there's a dip and the wagon tilts, and one of these big fan things bumps the ground and it bounces up and settles back down as the wagon rights itself. I mean, they leave little
Is he
gouges where
painting
the
stripes down the road?
Best
no.
job ever.
How close are we? We in front of him at this point, off to the side a bit or something, or what's our
Yeah,
position?
you've with the halfling and an elf moving stealthily together, you've moved up to about 500 yards or 500 feet off the side, so you can see relatively clearly. Um, it's a slightly overcast day. It looks like there's maybe some light showers in the wind, but nothing dramatic weather-wise.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about 10 o'clock in the morning now.
Have we seen any other life about?
Yeah, a half mile back, you saw the tracks that could have been from a very large deer or goat, or not deer, sheep or goat, and that's about it. I mean, other than squirrels and uh, maybe a few prairie dogs here and there.
Okay. Um, I'm almost thinking we need to get back to our hunt, but I want to watch this guy go by and see if anything changes.
Okay. He just blithely goes on his way.
Again,
You
still trying to
watch.
study it more,
He
maybe
keeps.
try and figure anything
It
out. Is
looks
there any
like he's
rolls I
gonna
can make
keep
to
going south and
analyze
west.
what he's doing? Gonna
What's that?
roll an intelligence check or anything to try and figure anything out from with a character roll?
No, sorry.
Wow. Okay.
As far as you can tell, it's completely nonsensical.
I found some of those mushrooms Ed was looking for.
Alrighty. Um. He's got my curiosity piqued, but I know I got a task to do too, so. What do you think, Arendelle?
You're not the only one. My curiosity is very well piqued as well. But going after alone with just the two of us when neither of us have a clue at what the heck he's doing, safest thing to do. Even if he just does look like a single human person.
And the wagon wasn't making any extra particular noise or anything as it went by? Any strange noises or anything?
Rattling and clanking. The occasional little grating sound as one of the fan things scrapes the ground or bounces up off a rock off the side of the road. No, nothing that doesn't match what you're seeing.
All right, let's. All right, since I can't decide, Kvik's decision comes down to a die
as you're
roll.
watching him, he's
Odds,
coming
we
up
go
to
after the wagon.
he's
We
coming
go
up
hunt.
to the intersection that heads towards Andale, and he stops the wagon. He hooks the reins over the hook and pulls his sandals, throws them on real quick, and then he hops down and he walks about 50 feet down each of the road, the two roadways, and he crouches down, grabs a hand, pinches up some dirt from the roadbed on each side.
How
rubs
close
it
can
between
we
his
get at this point?
fingers.
While he's off the wagon, how close can we get?
How close do you want to try to get?
Kvik's curiosity is piqued. Yeah, and I want to see if I can get up in the wagon.
Oh,
If I can get that close.
Okay.
Move silently.
Arendelle, are you moving with him or staying where you are?
I'll be, I'll come a little bit forward, then I'll stay back so that I'm still hidden, but bow at the ready, just in case I need to provide Kvik with a bit of a.
Okay. give me a move silently with a -10 penalty.
-10? Well, yeah, I already gave you one right there that didn't make it anyway, so I was expecting that.
Oh boy.
But if you want a new one.
As you scurry through the grasses, staying nice and low, and he's after he checked the road going to the south and where it curves towards the west first, and then he checked the road towards where you guys had traveled the day before, and just as you dash from the out of the grass on the verge of the road towards the back of the wagon, he's turning back from the road where you guys had just
Uh-oh.
come from.
If it's a noise,
And-
can I pause it just a moment? If it's a
and-
noise, can I
and
know that I
sees
made a
you-
noise and stop and hide?
Yeah, you freeze suddenly as you realize he's just turned and
duck?
seeing you dashing towards the back of his wagon.
That's
Hey,
how we lost
hey,
our sassy half-elf.
Get away from there! Get away from there! Don't touch the wagon! Don't touch the wagon!
I'm not
Okay.
moving at this point.
Touch it!
I need you to roll
That's-
a strength check, Kavik.
Strength check for just a strength check.
Roll
Okay, because I haven't done
Roll
anything, so
strength
I'm
check.
not sure what I'm needing to do strength, but okay.
Okay. You skid to a halt about 3 feet from one of these fans that
If I'm-
sticks out off the wagon, and you feel your sword is trying to pull itself off its belt, off of your belt, and you have to fight to keep from being dragged towards the this big fan thing hanging out from under the wagon. And you just manage to brace yourself. You catch your heel on a rock, and keep you're pulling your short sword back to keep it from breaking your belt.
Okay,
And-
I'll
and he
back away
runs up-
from it. I'll back away from it.
Take the belt off. Take the belt off. It'll pull you in. You don't want to get pulled in with that. Just take the belt off. Take the belt off.
Okay.
And,
I got
and he goes
got a couple
running by
contentions
you
here on this.
and clambers up the back of the wagon. What are you doing?
Okay, first off, if I'm trying to sneak up and that, I wouldn't be running. So where did that? I have an issue.
Okay. For flavor, I'm doing this for flavor because you got to clear that little gap between, where there's no cover, between the verge of the road and where the back of the wagon is.
Okay.
So that's that little dash to get from the cover to cover. One spot of concealment to the next.
Okay.
Okay, so he's yelling at you. Just take the belt off. Let it go. And he's rushing towards the back of the wagon. What are you doing?
No, I'm good. I'm going to hang on to it, and I'm going to back away from the pole.
Okay.
I already resisted it once. I'm backing away from it to where it's not pulling so much.
Okay. Make another strength check with a +2. That was you missed by. Ooh, just not too much. Okay. As he gets to the back of the wagon, he starts climbing up this little ladder on the back. On the back, you lose your bracing on the rock, and you slide about 2 feet closer to this fan. And luckily, you're short, so it's not pulling you down. Also, it's just pulling you straight towards it. And your sword is just like straight out at the edge of your belt. Roll an item saving throw for your belt. Leather versus give me equivalent.
Is that under checks or
Saves.
Under saves.
saves? Thank you.
Okay.
And what type of... What's the damage?
As crushing blow.
And
Kind of
it's asking for
opposite of
damage
crushing
again.
blow, but it's the closest thing that fits.
It's asking for the damage
What's
again?
that?
Same thing? Okay, and any modifiers?
No modifiers. It's just a normal leather belt. So.
Okay.
Woo. Okay. You're feeling your belt is starting to stretch. The leather is stretching like it's close to giving away, but it just manages to stay intact. As he gets into the top of his wagon, you see him dive under this tent that's in this box, and you hear him slapping at stuff and smacking stuff, and suddenly this force just ends, and you're staggered for a second, and you almost tumble back a couple of feet because you're fighting so hard to stop from being dragged into this thing.
Alrighty.
About 5 seconds later, he leans back out the back of the wagon. And
What in the hell is that thing?
it's my star metal collector. You know, blacksmiths, they always want star metal to make the best blades, and I figured something out. Is that most star metal isn't in big chunks like when they make a big hole in the ground. They're itty bitty things that you can find everywhere.
And that finds them by pulling the metal to it?
Uh-huh.
That's pretty ingenious. But you're able to turn it off. That's...
Well, it has to. I can't have anything metal. I hate not having my real belt buckle, but I gotta just tie a cord from when I'm doing my collecting. When he's looking at you, are you okay?
I'm fine. I was just kind of curious what in the hell that thing was.
It's
I'll
a star metal
take a look.
collector.
Star metal collector.
Well, if you go look underneath, good, well, you're already low to the ground. Just crouch on down and look underneath. You'll see. Well, now it's all going to be on the ground.
So how much material dropped off?
And you glance under, and there's this very faint black shadow on the ground underneath where these fans were spread out. And you can see there's just a lot of tiny specks, black specks, covering everywhere underneath where these big fan things stick out from the sides of the wagon.
So how much does this stuff go for?
Well, I drive around in the odd place here and there for 5 or 6 weeks, and I can gather up enough to so that the great smiths can make a nice war axe or sword or some such, and a lot of the priests of Attain, they love this when they have a smith that's working on something that they want to have enchanted, and so they pay me really good for it.
Yeah, like I said, how much does this go for?
I can make about 2 gold a week.
2 gold.
On a real good trip.
2 gold a week, huh?
Yeah, it's a great living.
I guess. That's quite curious. So, you got a bunch of it piled up inside too?
Well, not so much. I try not to turn it off until I get back to my warehouse, and then I turn it off, and it's got a drive the wagon over a big funnel thing, and it all falls down, and then
So
hit a bag.
where were you headed back to?
What's that?
Where do you operate out of?
I've got a spot up in the hills. Um, uh,
How about
it's
gamblers?
up north of Carbon. It's up north of Carbon on this side of the river, but up there, a little hamlet up in the mountains.
Over by Carbon. Boy, you're a long way from home.
Couple weeks out.
Yeah.
I'm on the return swing right now.
Oh, that's good. You know you don't want to head towards Andil, right?
Oh, it's an Andal. I mean, I've been through there a few times. There's nothing but dusty rocks.
Oh, it's been
Not
demon
great for
infested lately.
collecting, though. Say that again?
It's been demon infested lately.
Demon infested.
When's the last time you've been through
Oh
here?
dear. Well, last time I came out into the plains here, into the prairie was, 5 or 6 seasons ago. I've been riding down along the high. The last few trips I made was along the high road and up towards the quarries and mines by Duragi Falls.
Him to know I'm kind of needing to chase down some livestock for making jerky and stuff. And is there any farmers running any cattle or anything like that around here nearby?
Uh, the
Sheep,
plainsmen here, the tribesmen,
hogs.
they kind of chase around some of the herds of goats and sheep that roam the prairie. There's a few of the tribes. They stay way in the southeast part of the past the hills beyond Tavel. That
Yeah, I'm looking for something
they
considerably
actually
closer.
they actually farm raise and farm some small. They're kind of small but long, shaggy-haired bulls and cows.
How many days away?
Oh, that's man. Well, with how fast I drive, it's
Yeah.
about a month from here.
Oh, I'm looking for something like a day's ride.
Yeah, other than the critters roaming the prairie,
Gotcha.
good luck. I mean, it's like being a bug on a plate out here. You know, hard to hide, but hard to be hidden from too. You know.
I hear you. Well, Vex is my name. Nice meeting you.
Okay, nice meeting
You
you.
need to hang like warning signs on
it,
there or something.
if well, that's why I'd ride out here where there's nobody, and the plainsmen they don't use much metal, so if they do come up, I can usually warn them off before they get too close, for the few little bits of metal stuff that they do have to be a problem. Um, but yeah, if you ever travel up into the mountains uh along the Bracken River, um, the fourth village up the river from Carbon. That's where I live, and
I might have to check it out someday.
you're very welcome. Just ask for Frankie. I'm Frankie.
Nice to meet you, Frank.
They call me Freaky Frankie sometimes. I don't know why.
That's quite the contraption you got there. Good luck to you.
Thank you. Well, I'll be you move back about uh 20 feet to be safe, so I
Yeah.
can turn this back on and pick up all the stuff that just dropped onto the ground.
Gotcha. I'll head back up away.
all right. You have a good day, and
You be careful out
you
there.
hear
Watch out for
some
wolves.
thumping and stuff. Once you back away, you hear some thumping and shuffling inside, and you see this black haze float up off the ground and stick to the bottom of these plates, and he climbs
Could I have
out the front of his little tent thing and sits back up on the buckboard. Yeah, yeah. What can I do for you?
No, this is out of character, but is there any time that I would have been able to been close enough looking at the little metal flakes or whatever to get like a handful?
Yeah, you were
With
not
not
8 inches
not-
away.
Yeah, without him seeing that I picked up the handful.
Well, if you want to try, give me a pickpockets roll.
Oh boy, he's not so good at that.
An indirect
Oh,
use
God.
with a plus 20% because he told you to crouch down and take a look. So pickpockets with plus 20.
All right, let's see how this works out.
I may be bringing my bow to bear soon.
What the plan is here is I'll pick it up as hidden. If he notices it, I'll just pick it up like I was going to look at it close, and then I'll drop it back down. But if I can pick it up without him saying anything about it, then I'll pocket it. So let's see here. Let's get back to there. Checks. Rolls. Pickpocket. You said plus 20.
Good luck.
He eyes you, kind of raises one eyebrow as you're reaching in, as you try to scoop some up, and you catch his look when you after you do it, and you're feeling it, and it's really just like this black dust. Some of it with little like chunks, maybe the size of the pinhead. Or is it like the biggest pieces, or maybe the size of a pinhead?
I'll crumble.
It's kind
like
of a
about
gritty
half
dust.
Of it. I'll crumble about like half of it off my hand, in that like I poured it out, but I'll try and maintain at least some of the dust on my hand. Quarter to half if possible. So.
Well, it doesn't. I mean, it's kind of sticks to your hand a little bit. I mean, it's
Right.
warm and a little bit humid because the rain's brewing, and so this very fine gritty dust just kind of your hand's got that just tiny
Right.
bit of moisture dampness to it,
So
and it just kind of sticks, and you're rubbing it. You have to rub it. You have to intentionally.
I'm not.
rub it to get it back off.
Right, and
so.
I'm not going to. I'm just going to, dump my hand back out and leave the rest encrusted on my hand. Want something to
Other than
take back
the
and be
eyebrow
checked out further.
saying that showing that he noticed, he didn't say anything.
Okay. Quick always, he's not doesn't bathe very often anyway, so it shouldn't be too much of a shock that he doesn't care that he's encrusted up with some more type of dirt or whatever it is. So, and then he'll say his farewells and watch out for Andil and watch out for wolves and let him be on his way.
Yeah, I was heading down by Chellers. Anyhow, it's these prairies. They're great. They're so wide open, and the old roads. They're kind of funny because they're raised up just enough to catch the little grit that blows around in the wind, and about the road. Well, not this road, but the. Where the road from Chellers up to Carbon goes on up past our village. That's the area where I first realized that this black grit that's everywhere. It was actually itty bitty pieces of star metal.
Who would have thought?
He's back up in the seat and he takes his sandals off and stretches his toes and wiggles his toes a little bit.
I get my
Picks the
distance.
reins back up and waves and And yeah, this is after you already gotten some distance and he's activated everything again. He waves and slaps the reins and remember, ask for Freddy. If you ever come up our way, and he waves and
Don't forget, it's
starts
Vex.
on his slow way driving on down to the south.
Alrighty. After he gets more out of distance, I'll get back over to Arendelle. It's like, that was the strangest contraption. And I'll show him my crusted up hand. It's like it was picking up this. He called it star metal.
Star metal. Would I by any chance have heard of that before?
Oh yeah, I mean, star metal is, or meteorites. Old meteorites are referred to generally as just star metal. I've been forever very highly prized by blacksmiths and alchemists for creating really high quality weapons, and especially when the intent is to enchant the weapon or make a magical device.
So I'll then clean my hand off into an isolated part of my pouch or whatever. Kind of keep it gathered up as much as I can. And, well, I guess back to the hunt.
Okay.
A little
Okay,
experience
so
there.
a little bit of RP. He failed every check that would have gotten him any experience, though. uh, okay, so back to the hunt.
It was still pretty interesting, though.
Yeah, that was worth the digression. That was entertainment right there.
It was just a crazy idea I had. Yeah, that's an awesome NPC to run into.
Well, like I said, it came down to my roll. If I'd rolled evens on that roll, then I was like, I'll let him go.
I thought he was a street sweeper. All I could think of was being in New York as
Well,
the street
in a
cleaners
way-
came through.
In a way, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a
That's what I
way.
was kind of thinking as well.
Yeah.
Okay, back to the hunt. We
Back to the hunt.
burned up enough a lot of this time here.
That was fun though. It's fun
Okay,
listening to you
So you
keep
track
failing
back
to roll.
towards where you saw the sheep or goat tracks. You follow them for about an hour. Give me a hunting check, Arena.
Okay. No, it's great that it's just an elf and a halfling because it means we don't have to worry about being 90 feet in front of everyone.
Right, because it's just elf and halfling, so you guys should have your surprise bonus stuff. Racial.
I really need a
Your
better
proficiency
wisdom.
check is that low? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Better wisdom.
Oh, it's a wisdom base, yeah.
Be
Okay.
right back, guys. 1 sec.
After about an hour finding these tracks, you come across like an old little watering hole, and you realize that these tracks are really old. I mean, you've been following them for a little bit, and you realize that they're not recent. They're not really recent tracks. So, if you were going to try to follow them, it would probably take several days to catch up with the group of you're pretty sure goats at this point that made these tracks. So you realize that these tracks are actually days old. So
Unfortunately, Kavik, these tracks are several days old. It would take us several days to catch up with whatever it is.
Right. We need to sweep around. We can't get that far.
Okay. So,
Any sign of the wolf tracks about?
give me an observation check. Right.
Okay. Coming up.
Okay.
He's 7.
You see a couple of what looks like pretty large canine paw prints on the side of this watering hole, but they're also a couple of days old when you see, and they're nowhere near as big as the prints left by the pack of wolves that you guys fought. So these are probably just other
That's actually more of what I was looking for. I mean,
prairie
we came
wolves or
down
something
this
like
way,
that.
and we were harassed by those big wolves, so that's kind of what I was kind
Yeah,
of...
the tracks you see by this watering hole are not nearly big enough to be from them.
Right. But we're not seeing any of the
And
tracks
then,
from the big wolves?
yeah, through
knowing
the day,
that we were
you didn't
through here?
as you're moving, doing your hunting, you didn't see any of those tracks. Once you got more than 200 feet from the road where your camp was, and the ones that you did see near there were also a couple days old. So,
Well, that's curious.
okay. So, realizing after spending almost half the day with this crazy Freddy, Freaky Freddy, and following these tracks that you realize after the fact are quite old and aren't likely to lead you to something that you can snare. You guys are start making your way back towards the camp. And Tixos, what are you doing?
I'm still reading my book. Oh, bother. The big damn book of spells.
Okay. So you're just spending the day studying spells?
Yep.
Do you guys do you have the big tome with you?
Oh yeah.
Or-
Yep.
Okay.
I've been casting light and load on it every day.
Yep.
Keeping track of that this time?
Now I am, yes.
All right. With the day rest, go ahead and count it as 2 for your traveling research stuff for number of pages. For progress towards your next spell. And Zed, what are you doing with the buds that you harvested?
Well, my gear to rock of where it is that comes out of them.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch what you said there.
I'll do whatever else I'd normally do. Make basically a paste or an edible. I will
Okay, you're gonna do it like
try a similar
test a little
process.
bit to see toxicity and stuff like that.
Yep.
Okay. You take the tiniest sliver. No, these buds are very similar to peyote, which is common up in the Zan Plains, but they're the wrong color. So you take a very, very ginger sliver of the skin off of one of them behind the needles, behind the soft needles, and you're smelling. It smells a lot sweeter than peyote, and the when you touch it to your tongue, it makes your tongue goes numb for about 5 minutes.
Wow.
I like it.
Give me an herbalism check. Another herbalism check.
Good for anesthesia.
Oh.
Okay. If you spend some time prepping this in like set up with a still room or something like that, in about a week you could create um, a uh, an ointment, or a pain killing ointment. Um, that you could safely use.
Nice.
And with the 6 buds, you could get 12 doses of it. Um, it would take a week to prepare, and you won't be able to do that while you're traveling. Okay. So, Zed, did you spend some time studying the spellbook also?
Of course.
Yeah. Okay. With the time that you spent searching for the combing for your fun herbs, and experimenting with the buds that you did find, you only get your normal one page progress towards your next spell. Evening time comes around. Everybody's gathered back at the camp.
So we're back.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, I want to take that dust out and show Zed and Antixos right into a tall folk who was gathering this up off the ground with a strange contraption. Just called it star metal. You guys ever seen this stuff before?
Nope, not me.
My great travels, would I have seen anything like that or heard about it?
I mean, you've heard of star metal. What Kvik describes for this guy's wagon and how he was collecting it sounds completely crazy to you.
That it drew my metal to it until he turned the contraption off somehow.
How strongly did it draw your metal?
It was dragging me across the ground for a bit.
Think it could hold Zilpha?
I don't know.
You'd have to be
Not that it
wrapped
does
up
any
in
good.
chains. You know?
I don't know if she's able to break out of the chains, and I mean, if she was in the chains, or I guess even locked into her armor, maybe. But not that it does any good. He's on his way to Chellers.
Didn't sound like he was traveling too fast. We gotta figure out something. We got 2 days.
Yeah, well, we got a plan.
Catnip and cardboard box plan.
And I don't think, to tell you the truth, I don't think restraint is the answer at this
Antixos,
point in
roll
time.
me
I think we need to let her hunt and learn to control it, not restrain. Restrain's going to make her angry and fight it.
I do think it would be easier to redirect the beast than it is to try to restrain the beast. And Tixos is making a what roll? I'm sorry, Elena.
I just typed it to him. Go ahead. Continue.
As you say, I think it's easier to redirect the beast than it is to try to control it or restrain it.
What are we gonna do? Send you off by yourself, or
Well, I mean, if we're part of her pack per the whole ceremony thing we went through, then we're not in danger.
Not in as
So
much
we
danger.
don't. She doesn't need to be off by herself. Maybe a couple of her that can help her and try and guide her, or at least lead her away, or who knows what. While a few others are with the animals somewhere else.
I would definitely like Arendelle to be nearby with his silver arrows, just in case. I don't think it's going to go wrong, but better safe than sorry.
Plus, he still feels he needs to make it up to Zilpha for what he's done.
Oh, she's made it clear that it's just fine. That wasn't you, honey. That was fine. That's not you.
well,
Quick doesn't want to forget though.
yeah.
He still feels pretty bad about it. It's going to take him a while to get over it.
Well,
Probably-
she's going to let him help
And
her,
I'll
and
make
that'll
sure
do
he hangs on to that edge quite a while.
it.
Arendelle's going to tell Vic to back off every single bloody time.
Well, good for him. You leave him alone. He feels bad enough.
that's the fine point that Kvik rides. Just enough to remind him about it so that he maintains that feeling for a while.
Oh, hey. It looks like that metal will be useful in making a wand of lightning.
Well, how much would you need?
Let me think about it for a second.
Well, I mean, he had a device. You figured out how to collect it. I mean, maybe you guys are the smart ones. Maybe you can figure out how to make that same kind of device and pick it up. I mean, he didn't seem like a mage or anything.
Well, didn't he tell you how to go to his house?
Yeah.
Maybe we could barter with him directly.
Yeah, it's a long ways away, so I mean, it's nothing anything we're going to be doing right now.
I
Well,
doubt anybody's making a wand of
one
lightning
ounce.
right now.
Fused to an ash wand would be required.
Hey. So, but one of the things you're discussing with you're talking about, and you know that redirecting the beast is easier than trying to resist those urges.
Mm-hmm.
But you also you also have that thought in the back of your mind that you can't do anything. You can't actively yourself do anything specifically until you gain consciousness while you're shifted. So
Yeah. And that's
so you're definitely thinking though it's good to help them to help keep the others thinking to try to redirect you when you do shift if they're trying to deal with you.
And it's also making it clear to Arendelle that if it comes down, he better have some silver arrows ready.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
We
what's
made a
up.
whole bunch for everybody.
Yeah, and everybody better be ready.
And Kvik got his short sword silvered.
Nice, good job, Kvik.
And silver bullets.
I mean, I'd hate for it to come to that, but better that than the alternative. So, and who knows? We might find a good opportunity. Maybe if we clear out this dungeon, you guys could contain me down there for one night. Who knows?
Let you go hunting down there.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Is it the next night? Is it are we almost done for the day? So I
Yeah,
can
well,
cast
I
these
mean
other
it's
spells?
it's like dinner time now, so
Okay.
maybe everyone's gathered back together and where you guys are having this discussion. So
Keep these ideas coming, guys. Keep the ideas coming.
Say again?
I keep saying for them to keep the ideas coming.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll find the people that the person that we're looking for, and we'll have this net thing. That would be a benefit.
That's restraining again, though. Of course, it forces you out, right? But
Well, I think if I understand it correctly, and you can correct me, Elena, if I'm wrong, is that it basically, even if I fail and I decide I'm going to go eat, Edward, that it would restrain me from being able to do that. Is that not what the Priest of Attain was talking about, or did I misunderstand it?
Well, it depends on how it's used. There's two uses for that net.
Okay.
One of them is more like if you're fighting someone who is shapeshifted, and another is it can be used as like a preventive measure to kind of keep you contained. One is a more aggressive use. Another is a more passive, sets up a containment area for you, for a lycanthrope.
Like at the door of the dungeon, so I can't get out. Am I thinking about that right? Or yeah, okay.
Not exactly, but from what you remember, it might be able to be used like that. Okay,
well, we don't have it yet.
We're
So.
going to do use your last couple of healing spells.
That's what I'm going to do.
Abilities before resting. Again.
Yeah. How much does Edward get
use
back
that.
for being under my care all day? Fully rested under my care.
For resting for the full day, everyone regains. For everyone who rested for the entire day gains 2 hit points back for being in the care of someone with a healing proficiency.
That
includes
me.
yourself, Silpha.
Yes,
you can tend up to 6. So you and Edward both get 2 hit points back. I don't think Antixos or Zed need anything back at this point. So
Funny, the only other 2 people that were hurt were out doing stuff.
Yeah, and Kivik is almost full, and you're not hurt that badly, but yeah.
Yeah.
Did you go ahead and add those hit points to Edward?
Yeah,
okay.
Yep.
Then I'm going to use my lay on hands on Edward. That's a
Okay.
granted power.
Topped.
Very good. And then I'll use the last.
Hang on.
Is she able? Well, figure out what's going on, I guess, first.
Oh yeah. Kivik hit 7. Zilpha's 6 though, so yeah.
Zilpha's 6.
Yeah, that's 12 hit points for Edward.
Yeah. Also, is she able to split that up, or is it a one-shot deal? I mean, if
it's
she
a one-shot
knows...
once per day.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like 5e where you can parcel it out.
Right. Okay. That's all I was checking on. Thanks.
Yeah.
And how are you doing, Kivik?
I'm fine. I'm only. It's a scratch. I'm okay.
It's a scratch. Okay, then I'm going to cast the last one on myself. Arendil does tend to stay back, so I feel like he's not in the direct line of fire. I sometimes am. So,
question about aid. Those temporary hit points. How long do they stick around for?
For the duration of the aid spell, whatever the duration is on that, I believe it's
okay.
one
So
round.
it fades away. Okay.
It's 1 round plus 1 round per level or something like that.
yeah.
Gotcha.
It doesn't last a terribly long time, but
Right. Okay.
okay.
Alrighty. I'm happy. I feel a lot happier now.
Oh, I just realized something. Now I'm pretty sure I'd have to be in a town to be able to do this. But you said at 5th level I'm able to master, right, Elena?
Yes.
But would I have to be in a town to do that?
No.
So I could start doing that while we're out and about.
Okay, you just got to 5th level right now, right? Okay, yeah, they won't
Yes.
kick in until next gaming session. So
Yeah,
don't
no,
change your
I
level
understand that.
until after the end of the
Starting.
session, because that affects your THACO calculations and all that also.
Yeah.
So keep that at level 4 in your character sheet until after the session.
Yep.
Okay. Second night camped out. What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing for your guard shifts?
Standard.
Yeah.
Quick will go first.
Set out for your traps.
Zilpha and Tixos tend to go last, I think. Yeah.
Then I've got the second.
Yeah, Edward hangs out there and on the second shift.
Okay.
Zed, you gonna hang out with us on the
Um,
third with the casters?
It's easier for memorizing that way. That way
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
memorize during your last guard shift and not take extra time after
I have
the
yet to
rest
cast.
period to prep and memorize stuff. Okay, so Kvik, start with you. Kvik. You're on first shift. Give me a perception observation check. Okay. Um, the moon is nearing full and the clouds break up a bit during your shift. You you catch there's a lot of night sounds, night small creatures getting through the grasses here and there, and catch just on the very edge of your hearing the faintest sound of a very distressed howl. It's at a really far away. Sounds like it's really, really far away. That's the only really unusual thing that happens during your shift.
That will heighten my sense of awareness of what's going on, to kind of like something trying to draw us out or whatever. So yeah, I'll I'm just kind of ultra aware, but not going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like one of those sounds that, it sounds like it was literally something from miles away, and when the sound just keeps traveling out on the prairie. So
Being paranoid, I think
wasn't
closer.
anywhere in the immediate vicinity. So
Yeah, I'll inform them. That shift change.
it perks you up a little bit, and you're paying very close attention for the rest of your guard shift. And go ahead and switch to Edward and Arendelle.
Yeah.
Give me perception observation checks for each of you.
You said it was int -6.
Yeah.
Yeah, intelligence -6. Unskilled.
That'll work real good for Edward.
Arendelle's not any better.
The moon is made of cheese. I just realized this.
Okay. Other than the little warning from Kvik about that he heard something off in the distance, as far as either you guys noticed, there's nothing unusual happens through your shift. Other than wrestling and hooting of night hunters and small critters and stuff like that. Good. Third shift, observation check for Zed and Tixos and Zilpha.
This'll be fun.
Watch it. It'll have been our shift that was the most important one.
Derp.
Okay. While Zed and Antixos are, they're both deep into their preparing their spells for the coming day. At about false dawn, the sky in the east is just starting to lighten. It's that that midnight blue instead of blacks. You can still see, the horizon is just getting that dark purple. And Zilpha, you hear as you're kind of walking a circuit while they're studying their spells.
Have I had a chance to get my spells yet?
Yeah,
Okay.
this isn't.
Yeah. Just checking the time lot here. Yeah.
You hear sounds like a wolf howling in the distance, and it's echoed by 8, maybe 10 others.
Great.
But again, like what Vic heard earlier, it's very far away. It's not in the immediate vicinity.
Okay.
It did sound like it was coming from more south than east.
Okay.
Somewhere south of Andale, probably.
How much longer do I feel like they're going to need to memorize their spells, or do I think they're getting close to finish, just like I am?
Yeah, it's near the end of the shift, end of your guard shift. Maybe an hour before it's time to wake the rest of, Kvik, Ed, and Arundel up. So
They should be good. So I'll walk back to Antixos and Zed. I won't wake everybody else up yet, but I'll just say, I just heard some wolves. One wolf howl echoed by many others off in the distance, but I think we might need to start preparing. I don't know how quickly they'd get here. It's not immediate, but are you guys ready? You got your magic ready?
Do you suppose the stars are a bunch of candles way off in the distance on the surface of a gigantic crystal sphere just outside of our reach?
Could
They're
be.
candles.
You got
They
your
wouldn't
magic?
be very bright. It'd have to be huge sources of light.
You got spells, Zed?
Yeah, I never used any yesterday.
Just keep your eyes and ears open. Let's let the
That's
rest
what Fluffy's for.
a little bit more before good. Get Fluffy out. Coming from the south. But let's not wake him up yet. Let's let them get as much rest as they can. If I hear anything closer, I'm going to go wake everybody else up, though. Any indication? I mean, I am hair trigger right now.
Happy.
Okay. The last hour and a half or so of your shift wraps up. The sun's coming up, and it's looking like it's going to be a nice, hot, late summer day. A little bit of wind, and some scattered clouds, but
Which way is the wind
beautiful day
blowing
otherwise.
from?
It's blowing in from the east, from the coast.
Do I smell anything on the
Blowing
wind?
inland right now.
Anything unusual? Sniff, sniff, sniff.
Nope, nothing unusual.
As everybody's getting up, I relate what I heard. And that, yes, it was a ways off, but that's something that we need to be aware of. They could be tracking us.
Yeah.
Oh.
Unless they're picking us up again. You're harassing us all the way to Endel, but we
Might
can deal
not
with
have
them
anything
later.
to do with us. I mean, it might be they were
it might
after
not.
some other prey.
Okay, despite what the macro says, the heck? It didn't finish executing. That's why. Okay. Eh. It's the 12th, not the 11th.
Yeah.
It updated on the on my calendar tracker, but not on the posted. So
Is the
I
weather
don't
the
know.
same or different weather?
Yeah. No, the weather. That's it.
That's the weather. Okay.
That's all good. It just didn't play the numbers like it should have.
Let's pack up and get out of here, guys. There may be wolves. There may not.
Where are we going?
Back to Andil, right?
Back to Andal. Let's go finish that dungeon. There's demons down there. We got to take them out.
Do we?
Yes,
Yes.
Zed, we do.
I mean, they were probably there for a long time before we got there.
Actually, Zed, from the signs you saw, all the marks and the dust and stuff, their occupation of that dungeon was very recent.
And you saw how they can open up, when one of them tried to open up some kind of gate, thank goodness they failed, but do you want to have them opening up gates and calling in lots more? No. Let's go shut them down. Last thing we need.
Zed will
Roving
try to
demons.
contain his excitement.
And find what they collected.
Well, there's
Hope that's a
always
lot.
that. There's always that.
Okay.
I think the mistaken belief is that there's
Dilfa!
something beyond that.
Yes.
As you guys are gathering everything together to start moving back towards Andal, give me an animal handling check at -6.
Damn it all to
Holy.
hell.
Holy!
For Larry?
Not for Larry.
Okay.
Just give me an animal handling check at -6.
That's actually not that bad for her. It really isn't. But it is. Just barely.
Okay. Porcus is wants and your mule. They want absolutely nothing to do with you. Larry is behaving normally, but the others they won't let you get near them. They're stomping and scattering. Porcus almost gores George, and almost
Okay.
guts him with his tusks as he's thrashing about trying to get away from you.
Vic, you want to take Porcus? Because we've been training them together.
Yeah.
I've trained them both to obey Kavik.
Yeah, so they'll tie a lead
Edward,
rope
you want to take
to Porcus
George?
and Grunt. And, yeah, or Shigo can.
Yeah.
She's already
Okay.
tagging along Nubs, so you just kind of
Okay, good.
little train.
Speaking of which, Kavik, it's been at the end of this month. Have you been thinking about what the next 3 commands you want me to teach them are, assuming they'll listen to me after this?
After the 3? No, I hadn't thought about it, but
okay. Well, be thinking about it. The month's coming
yeah.
up, and we can start training them something else now.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, Porcus is Kavik's
So-
backup mount, so we've been training
After
both of them.
passing off your pack animals and the extra riding boar, you're finally able to start get moving. But Zilpha, you can't ride in the middle of the group with everybody else. You have to keep some distance between yourself and everyone else.
I'll
as
stay
you're riding,
downwind.
because all the other animals are just freaking out around you.
I'll try to stay back and downwind of them so that they get less of my scent. I can guard from the rear. It's fine.
Yeah, you stay on the east side, southeast side of the trail as you're riding, and everyone else kind of hugging the north or the south. You stay on the southwest side. Everyone else staying on the northeast side as the trail heads, a little bit south and to the east. The wind's blowing inland towards the mountains, and it seems to help. You don't have to stay 100 feet away doing that. You just stay on the opposite side of the road, but still a good 20 feet between you and the rest of the group.
If the wind
make your way
shifts,
back
I'll
to
shift.
Andale. You get back to the remains of the curtain wall at about 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, by the way, I
And
cast my my light and load so that we would travel quickly. I forgot to mention that, but I did.
no,
I
well,
always
I
do.
was assuming you weren't rushing like
Yeah.
you did when you left.
Yeah, but we still
Oh.
always cast it just to avoid strain on the animals.
Fine. Okay. So
make
you
the
made
book
it back
easier
to Ando.
Well, again, tasks should go with taking care of the animals again.
Just as
Right.
before.
She moves him off into the corner on the far side of where the main keep was from where you found the dungeon entrance, and she gets them all sets up a picket line and gets them all set out, and she digs into to Edward's oats to feed to his warhorse, and gives a small handful to Arundel's draft horse as well. As you guys are gathering yourselves together, getting ready to go back into this dungeon.
All right, I'm going to take a quick bio and then I'll be ready to go in real quick.
Yeah.
So you guys
Okay.
start going in as I go.
Yeah, as
pee.
the
I'll be
camp
right back.
stuff's being taken care of and that, dealing with that.
Yep. Yeah,
Quick
go
will
ahead.
then.
Take a quick 5-minute back at. My time is 7:43, so.
Alrighty.
All right, chums, let's do this.
You were really fast that time.
I zoom, man. I try. And the bathroom's close, so I just have to pop in, pop out. It's not like I have to go up and
Hardcore
downstairs or
gamer would
anything.
just do it while they're playing.
I'm a lady of a certain age who's had children, which means I'm frequently in the ladies' room. That's just how it is. I'm sorry. You need to accept that. TMI.
Yeah, when you. Yeah, exactly. When you go that often, it doesn't take that long because you go so often, it doesn't take that long.
It doesn't take that long, exactly. All right, so Kavik.
I think the others are still
Okay.
okay.
Zed's here though. Zilpha, as we're riding back from the camp, she'll have a little conversation with Zed. Zed, find
Yeah.
anything good while you're out?
No, not yet.
When you're out looking at she means when you're out looking for the herbs. Find anything good?
Don't know yet. Pests are still withstanding. Could be amazing.
Let me know. Let me know if I can help.
Don't kill me.
That's the goal. Kill me first if it comes down to it. You know that's how I'd want it.
Not really how I do things.
Well, that's okay. And Kavik and Arundel promised to handle me, so it's good. I'm sure Edward will take care of me too, if need be. Hopefully it won't come to that.
That's a cheery conversation. If it makes you feel better, I'll stab you once you're dead. Just
Okay.
to, bring the group together.
When you come to a certain level of maturity, you just have to face reality, dude.
May all the
Good.
dead gods keep
Pretending
that from me.
like it's not gonna happen doesn't keep it from happening.
No, maybe not for you.
You're gonna live forever or die trying, right, buddy?
That is how my people work.
Good.
Oh.
Optimistic in that approach.
I approve. Ooh, wait a minute. Did I get level 6 gain another? I gained another refreshed steed, so I can do it 3 times a day now. That's nice.
You can memorize something else because, well, casting it twice a day pretty much covers the entire day.
At 6th
Doesn't it?
level, my horse is upgraded to charger quality. Larry's a charger
So now Larry is even faster
Yes.
and can carry even more.
Nice. Okay, I was just,
Hi,
I just got this level 6 last time. I just was looking to say, what else did I get besides the spell?
So you can just sling Grunt and Kavik right to Larry.
Right to Larry, and off we ride. Yeah.
We just detach, kind of like an aircraft off an aircraft carrier or something.
Yeah, there you go. Nice. Yeah, with being able to cast Refresh Steed 3 times and my horse's charger quality, we can haul and light and load. We can haul ass now, guys.
We
How
already
fast
could.
is a charger?
Charger is 150% movement and 133% carrying capacity.
It means on a medium warhorse, she has a movement rate of like.
Let me
like
edit this
30...
while you say it.
About 34.
We were at 24, so that bumps you up to 27 or 30, something like that.
Well, 24 by half would be 36.
No, she was already at 133 for being high-spirited.
Well, no. Medium warhorse base is 18, not 24.
Okay.
So 27, yeah. It goes from her movement rate to go from 24 to 27.
Nice.
And the big thing is being able to carry more weight.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
It's
edit
really
that
big
later.
deal when you're trying to get an armored horse and stuff like that. And
Because he
wearing
does
armor
have
yourself.
armor now, and he can't carry stuff. That's why I have a mule. But he can
Good
carry
choice.
some stuff now. Yeah, we'll
Good
deal with
donkey.
the weight and stuff later. But I did update his movement in his character sheet. Sweet. Kavik, you want to take the honors?
Come on, moving in.
Yeah.
Okay. Arundel, are you back?
Yeah, been here the whole time.
And Tixos. I think I'm still waiting on Tixos. Kvik, you're back. Sofa,
Yeah.
definitely here. And Zed, here. Okay. So I think we're just waiting on Tixos.
What's the base weight that he could carry before he as a warhorse? I'll do the calculations while we're waiting. Yeah, I can probably look that up on.
I have a note in there somewhere. Hang on, let me get to it.
Good. I wasn't gonna bother if we were ready to go, but
medium warhorse, the base weight allowance is 220, and the base max press or maximum weight is 440.
okay. So 220 times 1 1/3, basically, right?
Be like 285.
Yeah, 286 or so.
So that means that it becomes lightly encumbered.
What, 286.
286, and heavily encumbered at 440. So that your weight allowance is where you can become lightly encumbered.
Okay.
Heavy encumbered is basically halfway between your uh, weight allowance and max.
Ah.
And 440 times one and a third. Um,
And he's back.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
No, that's good enough. I'm never going to let him get heavily encumbered, so that's just not going to happen.
Well,
585 is his new
585.
max press.
Okay, I'll write that in as character sheet.
don't forget, I've got a high-spirited
Yeah,
draft horse as well. Remember, so he can carry quite a bit as well.
Yeah.
And if you guys weren't so fat, go for speed.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
You put it in my freaking
Welcome back,
character
Antithesis.
sheet. I'm
All
just
right.
dumb. Okay.
We move back down into the dungeon, taking the lead. Everyone else arrayed behind him. Is everyone ready?
Let's do this.
Let's roll.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
There's anything
yeah.
new other than when we
As
left?
as you move down into, you open up this main room. You notice the sulfur smell. It's still there, but it's slightly less pervasive. I mean, the ventilation in here isn't real good to begin with, so but it's dissipated just a little bit.
Okay.
And as you get to this passage melted through between these two chambers, you're listening and you're not hearing that low rhythmic thumping sound that you were hearing 2 days ago.
Okay, so just kind of dead silent in here then, or?
Yep.
Alrighty. Continue making my way in. And,
Edward should go ahead of me.
Okay. Pause.
first order of business is finding that hidden door again, which I left kind of ajar, but if it's been completely closed, then that's also a sign that something closed it.
It looks just like it did when you left it.
Okay. So, heading in that direction. Wasn't it here, or was it the next room?
It was right next to you, right there.
Okay, it looks the
Hang on,
lighting is back in place.
Let me kick to the lighting layer. I know.
Where's Edward?
He's coming.
Okay.
Staying
open
back
screen
because he's
up.
got the light, so.
Yeah. I just want to make sure I'm near Edward, that's all.
All right, so and this door is still open?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm taking a good look in here for the first time.
Uh-huh.
So I'm
Okay.
just peeking.
Just ahead of you, you see a table, and it looks like it's covered with really odd, lumpy-shaped chunks of meat. They appear to have a yellowish, crusty coating on them. Where there's a puddle of blood that's soaked in this powder. And the sulfur smell is a lot stronger right here, right by this table. This big pot on the ground here, by the end of the table, is apparently full of this gritty yellow powder. And hang on. You can see a second table. Looks like it's similarly set up. On the end of the table, right next to you, it appears there's a sunken metal drain in the end of the table where the blood has been running out from this. Where these, it really looks like bodies that have been ripped apart. It's even hard to tell what type of bodies they were. And the blood has run down through this little funnel sunken into the table to collect in a bucket here.
Some type of bizarre butcher table.
And there's a you can tell that this bucket right here is uh, full of blood, but there's a slight purplish sheen on the top of it. It's kind of oily and really disturbing. You look at it, you see this purple sheen on top of this bucket of blood, and it just kind of makes your skin crawl. It's
All right.
something unnatural going on there.
I want to look a little bit further before I call the others in.
Okay.
Is there a light coming from the other end?
There on the. I actually should have changed that. You guys were gone for 2 days. Let me. I gotta fix that.
Okay.
Hang on.
It's weird when my like third and fourth grade students' parents friend me on the Facebook. I'm like, oh man, what are they gonna find?
So you
Oh.
got two Facebooks.
No, I am who I am all the time, sadly. I don't have the social skills to do anything else.
Okay. On the very far side of the room, you can see there's some sort of large stone structure with a hood above it, with a very faintly glowing bed of coals in it. It
Okay.
doesn't get, only really lights itself up. Doesn't really
I'll
shed any
hold
light anywhere
real
else.
still, and I'm looking for any kind of movement in the area, and listening
You're
real
not catching
intently.
any movement.
I'm still dead silent in that direction.
Uh-huh. You see along the down over here, all those drag marks you were seeing when you came in before look like they're coming from that direction, and they kind of spread out to towards where those glowing coals are on the far side of the room and to the south portion of the room. And you start seeing a lot of wooden splinters scattered across the ground. And
I have to reload my
you
roll
catch
20.
a very large, bulky, bulky structure, something to your sort of the left around the corner.
In this general direction?
Or, sorry, towards your right, or left of the screen.
Over here?
Yeah.
All right, but I'm not hearing or seeing anything.
Nope.
So move in a little more.
You come up, you can just barely see. There's this large, looks like a lot of different. It's a strange contraption, and it looks like a bronze, a big bronze kettle, with a mechanical bellows off to one side, and this huge cabinet, and it looks like it's been made out of a lot of different wooden scraps, different types and shapes and cuts of boards have been cobbled together with very rough ironwork at all the corners holding it together. There are several iron cylinders sticking out of the top of this big cabinet. And on top of each of these cylinders is a strange greenish black ball. You can't really tell what they are.
Okay.
And hanging from the front of this cabinet, it looks like there are uh, a bunch of there are several sets of shackles and manacles. They're all hanging from the top edge, which is about 6.5 feet up.
Do I get the
And
sense
it
that
it
this is some
looks
kind of trap or anything that could be dangerous to us in some sort of way?
give me a find traps check. Yeah, it doesn't. While it looks like people have been trapped here against this contraption, it's not an active trap. It requires someone
Gotcha.
to,
Okay.
secure someone in it. The way these chains and shackles and manacles are set up on there, it looks like they're designed. There's a big collar piece in the middle, and shackles and manacles. It looks like it's designed that to hold someone by their neck to the top edge and their wrists next to their head, and then have their legs pulled up and apart and secured to the outside corners. Looks like a very painful way to be suspended. And you can see there's a very thick puddle of dried blood under the front of this contraption, and several very deep scars in the wood right behind where a person would be secured in this thing.
Okay. Being that it looks like it's clear to me this far up, I'm going to back up a little bit where I can see the doorway, and I'm going to take that continual light dagger. I'm going to shield the light so that the light will only shine towards the door, and I'll give it a couple flashes by pulling it out just an inch or two, just enough to generate a little light flash.
Oh, I like this plan.
Just to let them know where I'm at.
Creative use of the continual light dagger.
Very good. Give him
like
RP XP for that. Come on now.
Oh yeah.
And with that, after I give him the little flash and I see him rolling in, I'll move forward a little bit more.
Okay. As you're moving up over here, you can see a table in the corner over here with a bunch of odd-shaped bowls. Looks like a big mortar and pestle. Some clay pots and a lembic. And next to this down to the south, next to the big coals, you see a very twisted-looking anvil. It looks like it's made out of cold iron, not steel. And it's got some really strange carvings in the side toward that you can see. And on the heel of the anvil, back here, there is a band of bronze circling the heel of the anvil, and in the bronze are carved a series of skulls with a dagger driven down through the top of the head and sticking out beneath the jaw. But you can see, but right there, they're kind of elongated, looking like they're stretched to fit the length.
And the backtrack back to the table, you said a limbic? Does Kavik know what that is? Because I don't.
Make an intelligence check, Kavik. No, not your character. You.
Okay. I silly me for assuming it was common knowledge what an alembic is. An alembic is a very a kind of a teardrop shaped glass vessel with a top that curves over and draws out into a long point, and it sticks down, hangs down.
So some kind of alchemy device.
About a foot. Yeah, some sort of alchemical device.
That's fine.
It's
That's
sitting
good
in
enough.
a little stand.
Yeah,
You'd have to
it's not a
play
big thing. So
Elder Scrolls to know what that is.
No worries.
Oh, it's that thing.
That's good. Okay. So some kind of weird anvil thing. I'm just making sure that there's nothing living here, so I'm
Yeah.
sliding across the other
As you're
side.
coming into the south part of the room, the splinters and broken wood, little scraps, are become thicker and thicker. Mostly looks like they're concentrated. Over here in the corner, as you come up to where you can see into the corner there, you can see just piles of just scraps and broken boards and things like that. Looks like maybe stuff that was just left over from when they were ripping apart whatever they scavenged to build the contraption, the cabinet for the contraption.
Oh, there is a door down here.
Here, see a door.
Okay, I'll at this point I'll give him the flash again,
Okay.
and I'll go check out the door for traps and/or listen.
Okay. Yeah, the rest of you chime in when you're doing something.
Moving.
Yeah, and we can
Moving.
since they're moving in, you can backtrack to them. That's fine.
Just following
Get about
behind.
Edward.
Try not to make noise.
Yeah, Edward's keeping up, so
Right. Okay.
Where's this contraption? Can you point me in the direction?
keep heading to the west side of the
That's this
room.
thing.
Okay,
Oh,
I
the
want to go
north
examine
side,
that.
north side of the room.
So someone can be locked up inside of this thing?
Yes. Give me Zilpha, roll a religion check at -2.
A religion check? Okay.
Yep. And click. 2.
I rolled good.
Okay. You're inspecting the door. You notice that it is locked, and the lock looks a little bit rough, but it is new. And,
You're talking to me?
talking to Vic while he's
To Vic,
looking at
okay.
the door. As you're trying to check it for the props, a cloud of acid sprays out and covers you.
Oh, hell. Do I hear screams?
And
I make all the checks where it doesn't matter. When they do matter, I can't make them.
yeah, you take 6 points of acid damage.
Is he
Okay.
screaming?
No,
Or is he taking
Yeah.
it like a man?
I'm whimpering. It's a
know.
whimper.
Yeah.
As you're looking at this contraption, these spheres that are on top of these iron cylinders on the left end of this cabinet, you
These are
recognize that there's something that you've read about as that devils and demons use to save souls in so that they can feed on them later.
oh,
And 3 of the 8 crystals on top of these cylinders appear to be occupied. They have actually actively have souls in them.
do I know of any way to free these souls? Do I know anything that will set the souls free? Make a check. Tell me what to roll.
You do not.
And Tixos.
It is not an area of
Yeah.
expertise of your ethos.
Antixos, come here.
Okay.
Look at this. Does this mean anything to you? And I point at one of the crystals that looks like it's occupied.
Well, let me think about it for a minute.
If you're going to inspect those, as you're calling Antixos over to look at these, you hear, Kavik somewhere south of you let out a
Whimper.
a hissing whimper, and pained whimper, as you're trying to start showing these to Antixos.
Antixos, look at these. I'll be right back. And I run down. I mean, literally run.
Okay.
I turn around and shh.
I literally run. I'm running full speed,
I
but
sure
I'm not.
She comes running up.
And I look at him. What's going on?
He's got some new scars on his face.
Antixos, she immediately casts.
Oh, I
A little
forgot to
bit
change
of
it later.
little bit of smoke maybe rolling off.
She immediately cast a spell on him.
Okay.
Oh no! Do I
Um,
see? Oh, do I see acid spraying? Because all of a sudden that just appeared.
That's already happened.
Yeah,
right?
I
Or-
forgot to do it when he triggered the trap.
Okay.
So that's
but
just
it's not
the.
still in the air or anything.
The cloud of acid is hanging in the air in front of the door.
I
Well, I
back
stepped
up.
out of it, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Okay, I'm gonna cast Cure on him. Cure Light Wounds.
okay.
Thank you. He just.
I reach into my.
Most he heals up most of the damage, and
You did it wrong.
Yes, I did.
you typed in 4 instead of
Plus
Yes, I
four.
did. Yes, I did.
She reaches
Oh,
in
to
her.
heal. See,
um,
and here I am. I'm still messing it up. Okay.
I reach into my bag and I try to find something he can use to kind of, like
Okay.
wipe off whatever's left, or I mean,
Oh wait,
I
now
don't
what the hell
even
did I
know.
do? I've got a
the
screw. Hang on. I
yeah.
got
It just was like some of your scars may stretch a little bit further, but most of the damage has been taken care of.
Instead of a heal spell, it was a harm spell.
As she runs up.
How
and
much
heals you,
damage
you
was it
notice
total?
that this
You
I-
took
it was 6
six.
points of damage.
6.
You
Okay,
took
so I'm
6.
down 2 more.
You're down
Okay.
2, yeah.
As she she moves back, the cloud is starting to spread out a little bit. As
Back up.
she's healing you, you realize
Back up.
it's thinning out at the same time though. So
Okay, Zilpha's gonna turn around. Walk back up.
Yeah, you see a bit of anger in Kvik's face that this was allowed to happen.
And he comes up and Zilpha comes up and is like,
it
there's acid
expands
down
out
there. Don't go down there.
slowly to about 15, almost 20 feet from the door before it finally thins out enough where it seems to dissipate.
Okay. Watch out, there's acid down there. Then she comes back to this because this is what matters.
Yeah. Being that door was locked, I'm gonna go ahead and leave it alone for now. I realize I skipped over another door. Now that the
Be
light's in there.
careful, Kavik.
And I'm going to check that one for traps.
So,
Okay.
Antixos, does this mean anything to you?
Still thinking.
Thaumaturgy and Tixos.
That's
Hey,
what I was
Spellcraft.
hoping he'd roll.
Are you rolling it, Elena, or am I?
Yes, I am rolling it.
Okay.
Okay. And Tixos, as you're thinking back onto what you've read about these sort of soul vessels that devils and demons will use. You hear Vic puttering at the other door on the west or on the east wall, and you
Oh,
hear
hell.
a low thump, and you see a flash of light around the crack of the door. It flares for a second and then goes away. Um, Strangely, that little thump and flash of light makes you think of something that uh, stored stored souls in this manner. The soul is actually still conscious and effectively alive, but their body had they basically their soul has been moved from their body into this crystal, and they're typically conscious and alive, and the devils will use these gems and they'll slowly feed on these souls and torture them. One of the other properties of these crystals is that if the inhabitant of this crystal was a spellcaster, it is possible to draw energy and be able to cast for a wizard to be able to cast an extra spell that the inhabitant of the gem of the crystal knew while they were alive.
Let's go to
Um,
Kavik and see what happened to Kavik after the thunk and
it's
the
not
light.
generally it's generally something that is uh, it's one of the ways that devils use to charge their be able to cast extra spells, uh, and the gems with spellcasters trapped in them, crystals with spellcasters trapped in them, are typically reserved for the upper echelons of um, but Baator, the hierarchy of Baator.
Oh,
Hmm.
great.
How big are these crystals?
They're about 2 inches in diameter.
And there are three?
There are 8 total. Zilpha has pointed out 5 of them appear to have souls in them. 5 of the 8.
Hmm. Um, do I know how to set the 5 souls free?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Um, as far as you know, uh,
Like, would it
a
take a magic jar spell or something?
a magic jar spell could be used, um, or
Like, are they magic jar phylacteries? Same thing.
there's something like that. It's a unique variation of a magic jar that devils and demons use.
Okay. Um, are they covered in anything, or are they just exposed to air?
Sorry, say again?
Are they covered in anything, or are they exposed to air? Can I just pick one up?
They're setting in these little depressions in the top of each of these cylinders.
Okay.
They're not secured to the cylinder. They're just resting in the in a depression on the top of each cylinder.
I pick one up then.
Okay. It feels very slippery. Um, uh, like it wants to slide out of your hand. It's very hard to keep a grip on it. Once you kind of get used to the unusual sensation that it's trying to get away from you. Um, you're able to hold it easily. I mean, they're not big, they're not cumbersome. Um, uh, Roll a save versus spell. Okay. Um, you get the impression that uh, that whoever is trapped in this crystal is um, very unpleasant type of person, and it felt like someone was trying to kind of burrow into your mind, and they trying to trick you, and you're just way too alert to it. Um,
Okay.
and I mean, you're able to push the influence aside.
I'm gonna shatter the crystal on the ground right here. Just throw it right on the ground.
Okay.
I'm gonna say, ooh.
You throw it on the ground. Give me a strength check. And stupid graphic glitches. Okay. Um, the the crystal hits the ground, and a spider web of cracks spreads all across the surface. Um,
What are you doing,
and
Antixos?
there's a
Try to take over my mind.
Um,
You tried to
haze
take over your
of
mind?
black spikes radiating from the crystal, and as it rolls into a little depression in the ground, it just suddenly collapses, and the haze dissipates. It collapses into just a bunch of small shards.
Maybe they're all from evil people. Who knows? But I'm not gonna touch any more. I'll grab these empty ones and put them in my pack.
You do know that these crystals, the empty ones, they can be used for a trap the soul or magic jar spell, um, as the vessel for either of those spells. Uh, the occupied ones, it appears they are fairly fragile and can simply be smashed.
You guys want to get rid of those?
Edward asks, is there a safe way or is there dangerous ways? I mean, if they're good souls, I mean, we don't want to hurt them any more than they already have been.
Oh, I can do it. I can do it. Pretty sure I can do it. Like 90%. 85%.
Okay.
How much do they weigh?
What's that?
How much do they weigh? The 3 that I picked up, the empty ones.
Like they're really light actually. They're pretty hollow. I mean, 10 of them probably a pound. They're less, a tenth of a pound a piece. They're very light.
So we're smashing them? Smashing them? We're going to do it?
I'm not touching them. I don't suggest you should touch him either. Maybe you should smash him from a distance with like a shovel or something.
And Edward says, "Does that hurt a good soul? I mean,
Yeah, I
Well,
mean, they might not all be
No, well,
bad souls,
if it's
Antixos.
releasing, if it breaks the vessel, it's releasing a trapped soul. So
They
you
go
know,
wherever they're supposed to go.
yeah,
Right.
I understand releasing it. Edward's just kind of concerned that it's somehow hurting him further than they have already been hurt. That's only Edward's concern. So, unless any of the characters have anything,
so the way these spells work is you use these soul crystals to trap souls inside, and if you break the crystal, it sets the soul free.
Let's do it.
and
Just don't touch them.
No one's gonna do that.
Nothing's worse than these souls being trapped and possibly being consumed and tortured by demons. It's so much better that we set them free. They just can't stay as they are.
Oh, I
That
agree
one
that
that I picked
we need
up
to
was
free
filled
them.
with
I
a
just
malevolent
wondered
soul.
if there was a better way of doing it. That's all I'm curious about.
We could throw
They're
him in
evil.
the forge.
What
Or-
Texas said from his understanding, what Texas said from his understanding is they don't feel any pain, but the soul is conscious.
Can we talk? to him?
Okay.
They don't have nerves in the crystal doesn't have nerves, so they don't feel physical pain. They can be subjected to spiritual torture by devils and demons as they siphon their soul energy.
Edward's got a
That's
bit of
a whole
confused
other
look
thing.
on his face, trying to gather it all up. But okay.
Well, I wouldn't wish that even on an evil soul. I wouldn't wish that kind of spiritual torture even on an evil soul. No
That's
one
one of us.
deserves that.
Well, honestly, it might be better that they stay trapped in those forever rather than go to the Abyss or Beator. They'll be tortured even worse there.
Maybe.
Isn't that all part of the how things are supposed to work?
Yeah, I guess.
I'm with Zed. I think we should set these souls free. They should not be consumed to power the powers of demons.
Heck yeah! I've been waiting to try this.
Well, just saying, Sophie, you got the awesome magical mace, which would be awesome, perfect for smashing things.
But do I want to get that close to it? Zed looks like he's just dying to do this. If he fails, I'll bring the awesome magical mace out. But I mean, Zed looks like he's just dying. Am I wrong, Zed?
Come on, man. I've been carrying this around
Yeah,
forever.
said the sorry, I'm going to kick over to Zed because he's inspecting the alchemy stuff
Okay.
over there. The mortar and pestle is actually made out of obsidian, and tends to be fairly valuable. It's something that is extremely easy to clean and make it so that as you make preparations, it doesn't cross-contaminate because it's so easy to clean. The surface is so smooth. There's an alembic. There's several beakers and vials. There is a underneath the table. You see, there's a leather-lined box with slots in it for most of the glassware that's up on top of the table. So it could all be stored in there and easily carried without too much risk of breaking any of the fragile glassware. The entire kit altogether is worth probably 10 gold to an alchemist or herbalist who can use them.
Alright. Depending on how the timeline goes, I will be packing those up. Either before or after we do this soul gem thing.
Uh-huh.
But if I found that leather case, I'd definitely be packing this stuff up to go.
Okay.
But whenever that soul gem thing and and Tixoso's trying to get mind fucked. I have something for that. Not the mind fucking. That's welcome to marriage, but I do have.
Okay. So who's doing what?
Well,
I
Kvik
got
was at
scroll.
the door, and something happened, and waiting under on an actual.
Okay.
We heard a
Well,
clunk and there was
from
light.
right there at the door, it appeared that a burst of flame shot out the other side of the door as you started poking at it. The trap was apparently aimed the other way, though. So,
Lucky.
Nice.
So I'm doing the barbaric trap finding technique instead of the roguish one. Okay.
you're doing Ariella trap finding tonight.
Yay. Some rogue I am. All right.
Yeah.
Is this one locked?
That one is not locked.
Okay.
It's a good thing you're on the other side of this door when you set that trap up, because this one's going to hurt a lot more.
Yeah. And my trap finding is not that bad either. But anyways, I'll go ahead and open up this
You're rolling
door.
90s, though.
Yeah.
God. You really are having a bad day.
Yeah, okay. You're opening that door, Greg?
Yes. Curious as to why it would be pointing that direction.
Yeah, what's that way?
Alright, so I'll make my way slowly this way, stealthily.
Okay. Yeah, you're seeing as you're going down the passage there, poking down the passage, you're seeing the drag marks are very heavy and concentrated. There's a lot of tracks through the dust. With again, the dust has like been kicked off into the piles and the corners, bottom corners.
Mm-hmm.
Some of what they apparently dragged through here was pretty big though, and so those drag marks go pretty much wall to wall in some places.
Right. It seems to be being dragged into the room to the west, the big room we just came
Yep.
out of.
Yep. Zed, I believe that they've all given you free reign to have fun with the crystals.
Heck
Yeah, if you fail, I'm coming at him.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
I will
Okay.
take my dagger and knock them all off their perch.
Okay.
Try to get them in a little pile.
You flip them off their perches. They tumble to the ground, bouncing off this big cabinet. One of them catches the collar piece mounted on the and kind of slides, and it's kind of a whining grating sound as the metal and glass rub against each other, and the crystal just kind of splits in half, kind of like an egg almost. There's a fuzzy white glow spreads out for a second and then dissipates. The other three each tumble to the ground and result in a one is a very crisp gray shadow. The other is a very crisp white haze, and the last one is a reddish black jagged haze, and there's several sparks of electricity that spread out as that haze dissipates. It spreads out in about a 1 foot radius. It's fairly easy to avoid. And after you knock them, they all just fall and tumble on the ground and just crack, and then the cracks, in various the other three just at least spread across the crystal, and they collapse into small shards.
Not how I thought that was going to go. But I'll be like, ta-da!
There you go. Okay. Rick, you're checking this door. Doesn't appear to be locked. Doesn't appear to be trapped.
All right. Any type of there's no keyholes or anything. Okay.
Nope. Just a
I'll
simple
open it up.
latch.
I'll open it up slowly.
Okay.
I'll have to peek through.
Okay. You open it up and you realize you are looking into the large room where you fought pretty much
Came from
everything
before.
a couple days ago.
Gotcha. Listening for anything. I mean, it's all quiet in here too.
Yeah, it's still just dead quiet. The only sounds
Okay.
you're hearing are little guffs and
All right. I'll back up and
light
reclose the
chatter from the
door.
others behind you.
I'll
Okay.
close the door, but quietly, in case there was something that I didn't see. I don't want it closed up, and make my way back. And I'll let the others know that passageway goes back to the big room where we had the big fight in. And then I'll head back to the south door, having let that acid dissipate a little more.
Yep.
I'm able to tell that was a one-shot deal, or
Um,
or do I
You don't
need to
know
look
yet.
for it again? All right, well, let me try again. Being a little more cautious, knowing how it shot out of the door or whatever, if there's anything I can do that would
right.
avoid
Okay.
direct.
Okay. You're checking it out. It looks like there was something hidden in the lock plate that has already been discharged. It was forced the acid out into this cloud.
Yeah. So it indeed was a one-shot.
It appears to have been discharged and no longer a threat.
Alrighty. Well, let's see if I can fail the open locks.
No, you
Okay.
can do a good job. I believe in you. Bad Calamar's not here with his knock spell though, just in case.
Okay. You spend a couple of minutes and working your picks into the lock, and you find that you find the three tumblers, and you spin them just right, and there's a low click, and the it's unlocked now.
Cool. I'll go ahead and open up the door. And is that Thief XP?
Heck yeah.
Yes.
Dog concurs.
Did we lose
Open up this
Arendelle
door.
again?
What?
What happened to Arendelle?
Oh, I don't see him on my phone. Where'd he go?
Oh, he said he was going to BRB. Okay, never mind. I missed that.
He might be in his transport mode.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay. You come into this room. You see there's stacks of what looks like the iron bars that have been ripped out of everywhere else. Framing for iron bed frames and things like that used to be mounted to the floor and walls. All the shelves and stuff. The piles are mostly in this the alcove just to your left. Account for maybe half of what you saw ripped out of the rest of this dungeon area. Best guess is that the rest of it was what the rest of that metal material was what was used to create the traption, where this soul crystals are, on the in the previous room. On the far end, you can just make out a shadowy shape of a box sitting off by itself. And there's some other stacks of metal on the line along the wall, just to your left as you move into that last section. But
Okay. So it'll look like some kind of box or chest.
yep, it looks like a simple iron-bound oak chest, about 2 feet long, 15
Okay.
inches deep, and
That
12
lock
inches tall.
that lock was in a way that was to keep people out of this room, I assume,
Yes.
as opposed from the other direction. Okay, I'll definitely check this for traps.
Okay. Does not appear to be trapped or locked.
Okay. Is there
Got a lock
any?
on it, but it doesn't appear to be locked at the moment. Say again?
Okay. Is there some kind of latch or catch or release or something on it?
There's
Or is it just a lid that's-
locking. There's a latch with a lock built into it. It's closed, but it isn't locked.
Okay. If I take like the short sword and flip it in the lid and just flip the lid open as opposed to being, with my hand on it, is that possible? Or is there, like I said, is there some kind of catch that's going to prevent that?
No, and it's not too difficult. You might have to use your
I'll stand
dagger
off.
to push in the release,
Right.
and then flip it up with your sword.
I'll stay off to the
It'd
side
be
of
easy
it.
enough to manage. Okay. You go ahead. You use
Flip
your
it open.
dagger and your sword together, and you flip the latch open and flip the lid. Nothing
And get
happens.
eaten
The
by the
lid
mimic. No.
flips up and bumps into the wall behind it lightly.
And I'll
It looks
brace it.
like, yep. Looking
I was gonna
down
say,
inside,
go
you
ahead.
see several pieces of jewelry, some coin, a about an 8-inch long tube with silver bands around the ends, and a bundle of broadhead arrows and a rather large pouch.
Alrighty. So, looking at all those, the jewelry pieces, what are they looking like? Like necklaces, earrings? What type of jewelry are we talking here?
Looks like there's a pair of earrings. There's a torque. There's a gold buckle, gold belt buckle. The earrings look like they're silver with some sort of green and red stones.
Alright.
Looks like there's
The
some.
Coins are just in there loose?
Yeah.
Grab you some. Go on now.
Take a look at the big pouch.
Ain't
What seems to be in the big pouch?
Okay, you pull. It's actually you go to pull it. It looks like it's about half, 2/3 full. It's got some weight to it. It was like 30, 35 pounds.
Oof. Ugh. Well, I'll just leave it in the chest and just open it up and peer inside or
Okay,
see what's in it.
you open it
without-
up. look inside, you don't see anything.
And
I'll take the continual light dagger and shine light into it.
You know, it's all nice, well lit. You open it up, you don't see anything.
Do I see the bottom of the bag,
Yeah.
or is it just nothing?
Yeah, you can see it. I mean, it's bag.
All right.
It's a fairly large sack size.
Okay.
Um,
I'll reach in and see if I can feel anything inside.
what's that?
I'll reach inside the bag and see if there's anything to actually feel.
Nothing.
Alrighty. Have I ever heard of these types of bags before? A bag of holding? Do I have any idea?
Nope.
Okay. All right. I'll kind of test the weight of the bag again and how it picks up. Do I determine that it's the weight of the bag itself that's heavy, or can I tell that it's still something that's inside that I can't figure out?
From what you're looking at, there's no reason for it, but the bag weighs 35 pounds.
All right. So I quickly determined that it's not the material of the bag that's heavy. Okay.
No, yeah, but
And
the
it
material,
actually-
it shouldn't. I mean, it's...
And as I pick it up, it's like there is something in the bag, though I can't see it or feel it.
Yeah, when you go to pick it up and it's like it's half full, but you open it, looking into it, and there doesn't appear to be anything in it.
Okay. I look back inside it again and I'll take one of the coins that's in the chest and I'll drop it into the bag with the continual light
Okay.
to watch it as it goes in the bag.
You drop it in and you see it sitting there in the bottom of the bag.
Okay. I'll reach in to pick it back up.
Okay. Pick it back up.
Okay.
Coin.
And still don't feel anything else in there.
Nope.
Alrighty. That kind of freaks me out a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and gather up the other items, the broadhead arrows, and and the jewelry pieces, and a lot of coin there. What is it? Gold, silver? What are we looking at?
It looks like it's all gold. A bit
I'll go
more than
ahead.
100 at first glance.
All right, I'll pick them up in stacks of 10 and start getting them in my bag.
Pick up in stacks of 10 and what?
And put them in my bag.
Oh, okay. As you're grabbing them 10 at a time, you see that you get through. There's 120 gold total.
Wow.
All right, you said a pair of earrings, a torque, or let's see, gold belt buckle. Just 3 pieces of jewelry: the earrings, torque, and belt buckle.
Yes.
Okay, 120
Gold,
gold.
an opal buckle, fine silver, engraved fine silver and bloodstone earrings, and simple fine silver and peridot torque.
Alrighty. And a bundle of broadhead arrows, you said? How many of those?
Give those to
19. There are 19
Arendelle.
broadhead arrows in the quiver in there, or in the bundle. They're tied together with a leather thong. There's not actually a quiver. But...
Alrighty. And this strange bag.
Oh, awesome.
Okay,
So I
Zed,
did
when you're
have
doing
that.
stuff like that, I need you to say it out loud. And feel free to pipe up and say, hey, because I've been spending time with one person, you know.
Yeah, no, that was just
Right.
like you gotta load you up
There's
for
also
that.
right. There's also about the 8-inch long leather tube with
Oh,
silver
it's
end
leather tube?
caps. Yeah.
Like a map case, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it looks like a small map case, kind of.
Alrighty.
You don't
I'll,
find anything other than the storage case for the implements under the table, Zed? There's no hidden compartments or anything like that underneath.
Too easy.
Alrighty. I'll gather that up. I'll leave the bag there for now. It's got me freaked out. I can't see or feel what's inside it. And go back and
DNA.
let the others know.
Okay, pause.
Mm-hmm.
You knew there was going to be something good behind the trap door.
I personally do.
In Tixos, as Kavik is coming back out of the room, you feel the little tingling sense down your spine that something magical is in your immediate vicinity.
Take them. That's all that's left. There's no more. Sorry, my son just found my jelly beans, so I had to give them to him. Damn it.
So, just who I was looking for. And I'll pull out the items I found, the jewelry pieces, and the gold will stay pocketed, but for now, the jewelry
Dylan?
pieces, the tube, and the arrows, and
Okay.
show them that
Zilpha, there was a bunch of background noise. I did not hear what you said as he said he was walking back out.
I walked off because I was talking to my son, sorry, and I muted myself after that.
Oh, okay.
Son found my jelly beans. It was not a good situation.
I want to pick up on Spectre's craftsmanship. Craftsman.
I'll also tell him about the bag, so if he's going to do like some kind of detect magic, there's a strange bag in there it's heavy, but it's empty. Zentix is here.
In Tixos?
Yep. Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
There you are.
How much did you hear? What's going on?
Nope.
Okay.
Okay. As Kavik is coming back out the door, you feel the sensation, the tingling sensation down your spine that lets you know that something magical is in your immediate vicinity. And Kavik is telling you about. He's holding a bundle of arrows out. I don't know. Are you handing those to Zilpha or Aaron?
Well, I'm just showing the items. I got the jewelry, the leather tube, because I know it might have scrolls or something in it, and the arrows, and then I
Mm-hmm.
also let them know about the bag that's still sitting in the chest. That was strange. It's fairly good size. It's heavy, but it's empty. I even tried putting something in it, and it was there, so I picked it back up. Nothing else is in the bag, but you go to pick it up, and the damn thing's almost as heavy as I am.
So should we
I'll,
roll a
I'll,
something something?
I'll,
What should we roll?
I'll take him back there.
Here, I'll go look
Okay.
at it. I'll be glad to lay my hands on it. What is it? Who else is
Okay.
coming?
Yeah.
Well,
on, y'all.
I want to inspect one of the arrows. Sort of look at
Yeah,
how
definitely.
finely
I'll
crafted
definitely
they
show
are.
him the arrows. And I mean, I'll give him the arrows. I don't need these things.
So, how finely crafted do they look? Or like just
They appear to be fairly normal arrows. They're the broadheads, the blades of the broadheads are maybe a little bit more longer and more drawn out than what you're used to. But I mean that could just be a regional style for wherever these were made. I mean they appear to be in good condition. All the fletching is in place and nice and well attached. There's no splits in the nocks or anything like that.
any kind of like writing or scripts or anything you wouldn't normally expect on an arrow along the shafts or on the heads or something?
Nope, not that you see.
Zed, you're hot micing.
And you said there were 19 of them?
Yes. Okay.
And Tixos, you know
Okay.
anything about bags like this?
I don't know. I'd have to identify it.
Let's look at it then.
Um.
I don't have the identify spell.
Erindale, if you're doing the arrow thing, you probably want to be down in the southern room.
Okay.
All right.
That bag is inside out.
It's inside
What?
out. That's weird. Why would it be like that?
Body was smoking too much of the
Oh, I don't
monkey
know.
weed.
Maybe it's the fastest way to empty a bag out.
Alrighty, well, flip it back over and put it
Okay.
right side in.
Right. You flip it right side out again. You notice that once you turn it around, you notice that the drawstring actually the poles for the drawstring are actually now on the outside. Before they didn't realize it, but they were actually on the inside of it rather than the outside. To the pull cord to close the bag.
Is it still 35 pounds?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, it's heavier than my pack filled with stuff.
I could carry it for you if you
Well, I'm
want.
sure you could. Whoever can carry it, I just Kvik can't. That's fine.
Edward could probably carry
Is that
it.
so? It's still heavy. So, I mean, you want to carry. I mean, Kvik still doesn't know anything about what the hell this bag's all about. So
Huh.
he just knows it's a stupid heavy bag.
Have another reach inside.
Well, if it's inside out, it's empty. But then again, I still don't know that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like Zilf is interested in the bag. I'll give you the heavy bag.
Antixos, give me a spellcraft check.
I mean, look, you found it, Kvik.
Yeah, and like I said, the dang thing's as heavy as I am. I can't carry that thing around. Well, I
Well, who's
guess
strong
I could.
enough to
Guess I
carry
could,
it?
but yeah, I
Since
well,
Either Edward or myself, or probably one of the
Oh,
others.
wow.
She's growling.
Okay.
What is she growling about?
Antixos, you got there's something about about special bags being inside out. There's something significant there, but you don't quite remember what it is.
Hey, there's something significant about that.
Can I try to roll? No, I don't have spellcraft or anything. I don't have anything.
I mean, the bag would be within its carrying capacity, but it's heavier than everything I'm carrying right now on my person. So it doesn't make sense for me to carry this big old heavy bag around. It's heavier than what I'm already carrying.
But obviously, if it's heavy, there's something special about it.
I suppose.
Who's strong?
Why don't you try putting your bag inside of that bag?
Alrighty, I guess I'll put my pack in it and expect it to be twice as heavy, I guess.
Okay. How much does your pack weigh?
29 pounds. Well, wait, no, that's
Okay.
as far as just my backpack. 'Cause that's everything. So we'll say I think just roughly we'll say it's like 10, 15 pounds. So it's enough to notice if the bag gets heavy or not.
Right. So you kind of squish your small backpack into it and it goes in, no problem. And
Go to pick it up, expecting it
to
to be
lift
heavier.
the bag, it doesn't appear to be any heavier than it was. Still 35 pounds.
Oof. Still a heavy damn bag. The backpack's easier to wear than carrying this thing around. Especially since this thing's probably at least, what, half my height? At least?
Mm-hmm.
Put Kvik inside of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I go to look in the bag. Can I see my bag in there? Or...
Yeah, you look in, you open it up looking for your bag, and you see the top of the straps of your backpack right in front of you.
Yeah. So, this, I totally agree. This bag is something special. But unless there's a halfling-sized version of it around, it's not very convenient for me.
Well, what else was there then besides the bag and the arrows?
Well, there's these jewelry items and this leather map case that I found, and
What's in the map case?
I hadn't looked. I
Let's
thought you
look.
guys. Here.
Maybe it's a scroll
give it
or
to you.
something.
That's what I was thinking, but Flick's
Well,
first
it's
thought
okay.
he uses it for maps, but he does know that there's things like scrolls.
Let's
you hand
open it
the
up.
tube to Zilpha, and Zilpha, your skin starts to crawl.
I
So, like,
drop it instantly.
ants crawling up all over your skin.
I drop it on the ground.
Okay?
Oh, hell no. I ain't touching that.
What? What was wrong with it? I picked it up just fine.
It's bad. Okay? It's bad.
I'll look at it. Does it look normal? I'll go pick it up.
Yeah. Let's just pick it up. It's just like before.
I won't touch it again.
I'm gonna go
Okay.
over and have a look at it.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Basically, Antixos or Zed or whoever else.
Okay.
Y'all have
Ariel
fun.
comes out to check it out. You hand it to him?
I guess I do have read languages. Um, you know what, I'm starting to learn how to do these things. I'm not real good at it yet. Does the end caps pull off?
Yeah, the rings just kind of the rings look like they've just been slipped over a vellum piece
Oh,
of
so it's
vellum
just
that's
a-
got a leather backing.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, it's like a
So
rolled
it's just a
up
rolled up
tube
scroll with that has.
with silver bands holding it. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So, well, it isn't type of any type of map case that I thought of. So since Antixos is right there, you ever seen anything? Is this more scroll-like? I don't see maps contained like this. This is.
Well, let me take a look.
I hand it to Antixos.
Tixos, you recognize there's some symbols very faintly in the silver bands that alternating symbols for the moon and claws very, very faintly work into the bands that are holding this scroll closed.
Well, this kind of explains why Zilpha didn't like it. I think maybe something with this scroll has to do with phases of the moon and some kind of animal behavior.
They are abjuration symbols for protection versus lycanthropes.
Oh yeah,
Well,
Hell
this is a
yeah.
protection scroll.
well, there you
Anybody
go.
can use it. Protection
Well,
versus lycanthropes. That's why it gave you such a creepy feeling, Zilpha. You got lycanthropy.
Well, that's a good thing then.
That's a good thing we found that.
How much can people use it? I mean, is it one time or can you learn it? What's up with that, Antixos?
Is it a typical protection scroll, Elena?
Yes, it's a typical protection scroll.
Well, anybody can use it, but only one person, and it's not a spell that anyone can learn. You just take it out of this scroll case, and then you tear it in half, and then it works on you for a certain amount of time.
don't
And
even
what
have to read it.
happens is, nope, nothing you can read, really. It's just a bunch of symbols on magic paper. So, you just destroy it,
Cool.
and it gets used up. And a bunch of lycanthropes are held at bay after you do that for a certain amount of time.
Well, that's mighty useful, considering what we're up against and considering what I'm up against in 2 days' time.
I got a plan for that. Well, we need to explore here more. We could
So
set
there was
that
some
up.
jewelry. What was the jewelry again? Some
Yeah.
earrings and a necklace
Earrings,
or
a
something?
buckle, and a torque.
Uh-huh.
How y'all feel about spreading this out?
Well,
Pretty
let
good.
me
Can
get some
anybody appraise
appraisals.
this mess?
I
Yeah.
can.
Okay.
I normally do that afterwards, but
Maybe Zed can use the identify spell to tell us what these things are.
Can you identify Zed?
In my re-
Oh, you left that in your other suit?
So
Okay,
I
this
could
one's-
if we cross it.
that one's for the earrings.
Okay.
This one's for the belt buckle. And this one's for the torque.
Okay.
Google Jackson document.
Searching Google for Jackson document.
And is there an estimate? I mean, just global
All
estimate?
you really get from the earrings is that they don't appear to be especially valuable.
Gold, silver, non-precious.
I mean, they're very well made, but they're not, like top. They're not real. Nothing super special about them.
Okay.
Bloodstone is not. Bloodstones generally are only worth 2 to 5 gold pieces each. So, a pair of silver and bloodstone earrings probably not really expensive, but you can't get put a good number to them. The engraving is very detailed for them. The materials aren't great, but hard to gauge.
Yeah. Well, the earrings I wasn't able to pick up much on, but buckle and the torque seem to be pretty valuable. Let's get it back to a jeweler's to be sure.
Nice. Well, who's going to hold on to this spell, this scroll? Vic, you said you had a use for it? You have a
I got an
plan?
idea for it.
What do y'all think?
Depending on what's going on in the rest of this dungeon, if there's no other exits, that we could set someone up, get something down in here for you to chase, and set someone up with a spell at the entrance to keep you in here.
And if there's any of the werewolves, that'll keep them away from them too. If y'all stay near that person, it'd protect us all. That's a good plan.
Well, the idea was just basically, I wasn't really concerned about the other werewolves at this point. I wasn't thinking of that, to tell you the truth. I was just thinking of a way of keeping you in here, hunting whatever we can get put in here, and just keeping you from getting out of here.
I also think I appreciate that, and I'm totally with you, but I'm worried about when I'm not here, those others coming up, because they might sense that I'm a danger to them and I can't be infected by them, but y'all can. So I'm worried about y'all more than I am about myself.
Well, we're not sure exactly where they're at right now. So, anyways, let's
keep going. Yeah.
Let's go ahead and move on. I mean, so we got this cool bag, Zilfer or Antixos, or whoever else wants to. It's not practical for me. At least I don't see it as such.
And Tixos, you got the strength to carry it?
Well, let me see here.
If
Let me
not, I
think about
probably
it a
can.
second. I can
You always
carry
throw it
about
onto Edward or myself.
45 pounds
you
without being
have the
encumbered.
highest
So, yeah, I guess I could carry that.
Edward's an NPC. If you give it to him, then he thinks it's his, and then if he does something else
Yeah.
because he's an NPC, then bye bag. So I'm not pointing in that direction right now.
And if we ID it later, we can other decisions about it then.
No. You also have to keep in mind that he will expect his fair share of stuff also.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
Well, of course he will, but But for now, and Tixos can carry it. That
Yeah.
seems fair.
But yeah,
He's standing
I mean, right,
closest.
he's pretty happy right now since Kvik went to the trouble to trade a magic axe that nobody knew how to use for a sword that he could use. So he's content for now.
And once we know what this thing is, we can decide who would best benefit from it. It could be any of us. Who knows? There's definitely something weird about it, though.
Yeah. Well, if you put things in, it doesn't get any heavier than it is. It's just too big for me.
User in your channel timed out.
I'm going to put all the items that are already in my backpack into the bag so that it's just the bag in my backpack.
Nice.
Okay, so are you guys sorted out for that for now?
For
I
now.
don't think so.
Okay.
Wow. I'm feeling a little lighter on my feet now.
I wonder what would happen if I cast
User
light and
joined your
load on
channel.
that thing. Let's find out tomorrow or the next time I cast it.
Yeah. I was just about to the point where it was going to start slowing me down, but now I'm pretty much good to go. I feel a little lighter now. My feet don't hurt so bad as they were. My poor dogs.
Hey.
Kvik makes a bad joke. Well, too bad you can't get your belly in there. And then steps back.
Burn.
Wish I could fit my fourth chin in there too. And maybe these man boobs.
These man boobs, yes. Maybe it's a magical bra. All right, Kvik, you want to take the
That
lead?
wasn't an item I was planning on bringing into the game just yet, but I can.
I ain't mad. Somebody in the party has it, then the party has it. That's the way I see it. All right.
No, you're talking about a magical bra. I was just like, wait, I had a
Oh.
version of a hat of disguise, which was a halter.
If you
And
get a
all the
bra
disguises,
holding,
whatever any disguise that was generated from it would be a female, whether the wearer was male or female.
if you get a bra of holding, it is mine.
I think I need a bro of holding.
Let's compare
All right.
and contrast. And I
I'm
think
sorry, Zilpha. I think it takes those. I don't know. I could do
Yeah.
a check.
All right, you go on ahead. We'll follow.
I do have appraisal.
Oh.
Okay, moving on.
And my friends at school are like, really, D&D is better than your psychiatrist? I'm like, totally. I just stopped going entirely. I'm fine now.
It's a hell of a lot cheaper too.
Hell of a lot cheaper. Yeah.
I don't know. By the time you add up all the price of the books and
Oh, no, that's
the
true.
computer,
I already had the
Yeah,
computer,
it's
and
cheaper.
I got purple worm. I'm good to go.
Yep. Let's move on.
Let's move on. Okay, up we go. Kvik, you go ahead. Sneak up ahead, Mr. Sneaky.
It's should be pretty clear. We got what we can out of here, I think. Unless I didn't check any of the walls. You think? Yeah. I'm gonna burn any more time in here.
Do we have
Move
any
on.
elves with us?
Yep.
Hello.
Yeah, and well, Kvik's good. I mean, if you want to spend the time in here, I can look.
The elves kind of find stuff on their own.
Yeah,
I've noticed
elves
that
just
about
tend to find
elves.
stuff as they go. Yeah, you really can't even move into that section of their room there with all the piles of metal, the twisted bars and stuff that have been thrown up over there.
Right. Yeah, if they had stuff like that in the way, they weren't like moving through it to. I guess it would be a good disguise for a door, but
Right.
it's
And over right in front of there is where. Over here is where all the wooden detritus is. Broken boards, splinters, and there's scattering of shards and wooden fragments.